Are they on alts? Yeah, some of them are on alts because this is live. This is not OPR. So I mean, you guys, so basically OPR is essentially like the tournament account when they do like patches faster and they don't want Overwatch League affected by the patches. They'll have OPR on old previous versions of Overwatch. But right now there is no OPR to my knowledge, so it's all live. So these are all their like live ranked accounts or whatever that they can play on. Yeah, so let's take a look here. So first obvious thing to notice here is that Kiriko Ana is very interesting. Remember, whenever we're talking about APAC, we're always talking about Winston and Tracer favored metas, because especially with the Winston, we have a lot of really, really strong Winston players, so they're going to play compositions that revolve around Winston. Now, the interesting thing here is that normally when we're playing Winston compositions, we're talking about Ana Brig. Now, I am not a good enough coach, I mean, really, it's not even the code. It's just I don't have the knowledge or scrim code experience or scrim experience behind scenes with these OWL teams to understand why they're running Ana Kiriko. So what I'm going to do instead is explain why they might be running Ana Kiriko and what the strengths of that composition are in comparison to something that I would expect more, which would be an Ana Brig. So for me, I expect Winston dive, Tracer, yep, totally fine. Maybe an Ana, totally fine. So here's my guess. Is to an extent, I see something like a Shu Violet backline, and I'm like, why would you put Violet on Brig? Put Violet on a hero that can also aim. So that's probably a small factor in things as well. And from what I think that's definitely impacts the heroes that they select. The other thing that definitely has a little bit of impact as well is that we think about heroes that can peel for their Ana well. Ana as a whole can peel for herself relatively well, so we'd probably play the support that gets the absolute most utility, and that's probably going to be Kiriko. Not to mention she can also peel for her Ana, so that might be a couple of reasons why. Better map control, better angle control can assist her DPS. The Ana doesn't need as much peeling as a Brig provides as she would to like a Zen. And also you have Violet. So that probably has a little bit of it as well. Okay. And then I also think in terms of like, okay, let's think about like how the composition in theory would play. What you're going to try and do is, remember chat, whenever we talk about dive, okay, let me actually just do this here. Whenever we talk about dive mirrors, okay, a lot of it, if you've heard me talk about this before, bear with me. A lot of it just comes down to map control. So whenever we're talking about dive, the end goal is to probably dive backline and kill the Ana or kill the Kiriko once we force her cooldowns out. So how do you do that? Well, you can't just go 3, 2, 1, jump in, because if you don't have a good angle or a good flank, all the Ana Kiriko have to do is press S, right? They just disengage, and then what you have done is you have done what we called overextend, and because you have used your cooldowns to chase, you have not gotten kills, you die for it. So what ends up happening in dive mirrors is teams, to get the flank so that they can dive successfully on backline, we fight for space. So like, let's put it this way. Ana is not going to trot her little tootsies up from this point here to this point here if I'm a monk here, because at some point, whether it's here or here or here, I would get dove and I'd die. Because the Tracer's set up here, the Kiriko's set up here, the Winston's going to be set here, the Ana's going to look for a set nade from back here, and then we're just going to die here, right? So what they do instead is what we'll likely see from Spark is they'll go, hey, that Tracer Kiriko are up here. Can we get rid of these guys? Can we force this Winston back a little bit? Can we send our Winston across here with Kiriko and Tracer and maybe put some pressure on these guys? Maybe my Winston can jump from here up to here and bubble off the healing here, and my Tracer pincers, and force these guys to rotate backwards. And then once they rotate backwards, we've now cleared this side of the map. And now that this side of the map is safe, now my Ana can walk forward and she's not going to get flanked from behind or from the side. Okay? Why not use Epic Pin? Because Epic Pin and Overwatch do not mix very well. Same with OBS. So this is what dive is. It's fighting for angles and flanks to set up so you can dive the enemy backline. And also, if you're in, let's say, an attacking circumstance where you don't have space, is to try and take away those positions so that your backline is not immediately diveable. Now, here's what inevitably ends up happening is when we talk about controlling space and angles, right? Usually, I wouldn't even say usually, but a lot of the time, we never even get to the point to where we're diving backline because we're so obsessed with fighting for these off angles and this flank here and this control here and this high ground here that somebody inevitably makes a mistake. Maybe Pelican is slow in the recall. Maybe Violent messes up his Suzu. Crap, who's Rosebag, chat? Why am I already blinking? Make a mistake with their positioning. So during the fight for space, somebody messes up and they die. So you think that in dive versus dive, it's always the Ana dying first, but you'd be wrong. A lot of the time it's the Ana if the Ana makes a mistake or they win the angle control and they set up a dive. But a lot of the time, it's a Genji messes up when they're fighting for an angles. A Tracer screws up recall. A Winston overextends and dies. So what it ends up happening is because we know angles and flanks are so important to keep our Ana safe or to kill the enemy Ana, oftentimes fights are won or lost on the trades that happen on the sides. Now, let's keep talking about this. Which team is going to do a better job controlling sides and controlling flanks? Well, we look at the enemy composition. There's only one change, but that change is very important. One team is running Genji, one team is running Sojourn. Now we can look at that and be like, well, the Sojourn has the advantage in the neutral trade and the Genji has the advantage when they have ultimates. But that's actually a really lazy analysis. That's accurate to an extent, but that only tells half of the story. Because if I'm playing a Sojourn, one advantage I have is that I can control space or lanes or flanks that are more open sightline. For example, if I'm playing to control high grounds here in open space, I want a Sojourn because she has better damage with rail, just with mouse 1, the E is valuable, and things like that. But if I'm playing in more contested short range sightlines, the Genji is better at controlling those angle and flanks, right? So for me, if I'm playing with Genji, I probably will have an easier time controlling this area of the map because if I jump my Winston here and my Genji dashes up here with bubble, Sojourn gets toasted in here, whereas Genji is probably pretty safe, right? But then if I shift things here and I scroll down and I talk about controlling open space here or controlling open space here or even just controlling point, right? Sojourn's probably going to do a little bit more damage in that open space. It's really not that deep, actually. It's just about finding the strengths of your hero. So, okay. Do you have any questions so far? I'm actually going to make sure that we're good here. Okay, we're good. I was getting kind of concerned that Twitch is doing okay. So, anyway, long story short, it's going to be about each team fighting for space, timing that pressure at the same time. So, like, for example, if Gushui dives, but his Tracer's not set up, he could just melt here. And then all about how are we using cooldowns here. So for me, I might be using our nade aggressively on the enemy Ana, I might be using nade aggressively on the enemy Sojourn, I might be using nade aggressively on the enemy Genji, I might be using nade aggressively on the enemy Winston. I could be using it, say, for defensive purposes. But I will say that the Kiriko offers a lot of flexibility with controlling angles and flanks because not only like a Brig can she pocket DPS from a distance, she can actually physically be with them at no risk of herself because she can support her Tracer and DPS with her Tracer, and then if you dive her, she can immediately disengage out. So that is one big advantage. What should be the response from the defense when attackers are trying to take top left? Try and not take them top left. Try and match them resource for resource. Now, like I said, I think one problem is that I think it might be easier for attackers to support this angle than it is for defenders. There will be certain spots and parts of the map where it's easier for the attackers to help. Like, in other words, the attackers theoretically, I think, should probably be able to clear off this off angle, and I don't think the defenders can do a lot about it, but they're still here. You make them do their homework first. And then once we get to the attackers get around here, right? Like, let's say the Ana's here, and, you know, the Tracer comes around. Now we're all playing on, like, equal footing, and now we're aggressively fighting for space. They try and dive this, we smash them in the mouth, right? And then it really comes down to a game of mechanics, a game of timing, a game of who's using their cooldowns better, and things like that. So not everything is going to be which team took more space, but a big chunk of it is going to be. And then the rest of it is just going to be about cooldowns and mechanics and things like that. So we expect not just 3-2-1 dive, 3-2-1 dive, 3-2-1 dive. It's going to be about controlling space and controlling angles to set up your own dives and denying the enemy team from setting up dives on your backline. Okay. Does that make sense, guys? I don't expect everything to make sense there, but I hope at least part of that makes sense. Because remember, this is like Overwatch League level fundamentals. All right? Okay, the sound is off. It is not off. Oh, it's just very quiet. I'm not. Is it very quiet for you guys, or is it just quiet for me? Maybe it's. Oh, it's just my game. I'm just my desktop audio is dumb low. It's also interesting to note that they have Pelican on Tracer and Happy on Sojourn, so we have quote-unquote double hit scan here. Look at how aggressively Violet is marking this angle with Tracer. You see this? Forces a recall out. All that wasted time. It's actually kind of interesting to me to see that they're holding the choke as well. Yeah. Oh, Violet got low. What happened? Oh, shoot. This needs to be 8. Give me a second, chat. I need to get my settings all ducked in a row here. This is what Kiriko can do that no other support can do. Do you see this, y'all? He overextends just a little bit. Bang! Bang! Right? That's it. You win the fight off of that right there, right? I told you guys, in the fight for space, see, look at this from Shai's perspective. Shai says, oh, Violet has overextended. He took damage from this from I think the Genji or the Kiriko or something. He's low. I see an opportunity to not only kill this guy, but clear him out. Oh my gosh, he's one to me, and he dies. And what do we say? You win or lose fights based off of the control of space. There it is. And there's a mechanical aspect. But did you notice that where the mechanics was happening? It wasn't just happening in the dive on the Ana. It was actually happening in the steps leading up to the dive on the Ana. Yeah. You can also even look at things like target priority, right? So for Happy, Happy's focusing Monkey because it's easy charge, but also Sojourn does a lot of damage to tanks compared to like a Genji, right? So, yeah. Linkson needs to get out. Linkson might die. Linkson probably should die. Yeah. Okay. That's the mechanical aspect. Who has priority in healing tank when playing Kiri Ana? I mean, it's really pretty simple here, right? Who is the support that can play aggressively with her DPS? Right? When you can answer that question, that answers your question. All right, so they're just finishing kills. We're going to reset. Ana's going to go back to high. We're a little bit greedy from Shu here. This is a very, very late rotate. This is a window for Spark to actually take some space here. There's a dive. It's really not that deep, chat. It's really not that deep. This is just a fundamental. So here's what we're going to say. You guys saw this with the Toronto scrim as well, where a lot of teams were just dying to just really stupid crap. And I think it's just an inexperience. Just a early scrim thing. So I'm gonna be like, oh, what are they doing? Bunch of idiots, morons. But it's really just early, you know. So you're gonna have a lot of goofy errors, just as teams are not new team blues, right? It's just early in the scrim meta. So like you see, why do we lose this here? Okay, let's watch this from Happy's perspective. Why is Happy at still 170 HP? It's not that deep, guys. It's really not that deep. You ready for this one? This is why. That's it. I mean, look at this. If Ana's in a better position here, then not only does he survive, but then actually look at how they're not controlled. Look at the space that Spark controls. Zip. They don't control any angle, any flank, any high ground. They just 3-2-1 ran it down because they saw an opportunity when Sojourn was overextended and Ana was not in a position to heal her. I mean, this fight should have been completely, or like Spark should have completely got turbo stomped for this, but Ana, they didn't know Ana was rotating. Happy didn't know. Happy had no idea that he couldn't get healing. They didn't communicate. So you think that just only happens in your ranked games? It literally happens in an owl scrim. And they lose a fight, probably, off of this. Isn't that wild? Still tradable, though, because they still, like, whenever you ask yourself, how is a fight won even though we were down 4v5, it's usually from positional control. Like, look at Tracer, Kiriko, and Ana. These are really, really good positions. This fight is theoretically at least tradable. They're probably going to go for Ana here soon, yeah. Mechanics. Mechanics! She was a phenomenal Ana. So it's not a question of whether his mechanics are good enough. It's just, it didn't. That is silly. I will say that is silly. So if I'm Shu here, you know you're at a disadvantage. Your job here is to either get a big fat juicy nade, which he didn't get. Even the one on Lynx is probably not worth it. And then just, if he nades himself here, Leave probably dies. And then he needs to hit the sleep dart. And he could also keep himself alive. So he hits the sleep. Actually, it's not even mechanics. I misspoke. I didn't realize that he hit the sleep. So he hits the sleep, but if he'd had nade, this is a very winnable fight. That's such a shame. I don't like the nade usage there. But you guys can see how like the fight positioning advantage is actually making this fight feel like, I wouldn't say winnable, but like, okay, yeah, I would say winnable. Not instantly lost. All right, so then now it's going to be about stabilizing. Spark needs to not overextend, because even though they haven't won the fight, they can now take good positions because they got good trades with a good respawn. So what I would probably like to see here from Monk is Monk probably plays far back here, as far away as he possibly can, where he can still get value, or he can go for tempo aggression and try and set up an angle play. But we want to see Spark really just take space. They've got control on left flank. It looks like they're going in really hard here. But do you see like why this works? Do you see why this works? Look at Gu Shui's position. Gu Shui takes top, which means that, and Chaik forces recall with Ana help. Was it Ana help? Yeah, on the left side. So now look at Spark's map control. You see this? Look at all the angles that they have to control. So they have high ground, left flank, and main. This should be an easy dive. And though they won't be able to kill anything with this dive, most likely, they'll force Violet out, which then means that Fearless should die on point. Unless Fearless gets primal. There's the dive, they peel the dive. There's the kill. That's a positional diff. It's so much easier. Fearless had to go so much further and still failed. That's a huge pulse. They don't get the nano off, and they get the primal off. That's crazy. You know Fearless is screaming here. Go, 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 3, 2, 1, go, go, go. I'm actually kind of confused why. So they just trade backlines, but the pulse sticks. If the pulse doesn't stick here, okay, this is just crazy, y'all. This is crazy. We need to hit that sleep dart shoe. So Monk gets the nade, hits the sleep, but he gets pulsed. Then there's the primal. Gu Shui should kill Sojourn. Sojourn is all the way out. He does. He snipes Sojourn. You guys want to see some Winston mechanics here? Check this out. You just knew it was gonna be good, and it was even better than I thought it would be. Ah, yes. So Pelican makes a great play. Chu gets rolled. Gu Shui makes a great play, and this should be a win from Spark. Should be. Oh no, Fearless. I'm sorry. And this is where it just comes down to mechanics, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. Which guys? Who's gonna clutch it up? Oh, no way. This is going either way. And this is where, like, you set yourself up for success, and then it just comes down to mechanics. Check it. Oh my gosh. But Spark do win it. They start off with map control. They manage to pull it out. And a pulse. Guaranteed. Dante Monkey clears both of these dudes. 100%. Really questionable touch there from Pelican. I'm not going to lie. That fight was not at all one. That's going to be a nice little brutal stagger. Now, this is interesting from Happy. Happy goes Sombra. Now, let's talk about Sombra a little bit. At least my old, outdated, boomer geezer opinion on Sombra. Sojourn nerfs have hit them hard. Like, Sojourn is certainly weaker with the non-headshot, with how slow it is to farm. The big one is that you don't farm your rail very fast off of bubbles and Winston bodies anymore. That's a big one. So then you're like, okay, well, what else can Happy play? Well, you don't want to. You need something with mobility versus dive, otherwise you get isolated and killed out. So you go Sombra, right? Well, the problem with Sombra is that, again, when we're thinking about, we go back to our picture here when it comes to controlling flanks and angles. What does Sombra do to control flanks and angles? Well, she can hack and disrupt people on the angles, right? So if I get a hack on an angle here as Sombra, like let's say Sombra comes in here, this person is weaker. That's a horrible color. Let's just do it over here. Let's say this is red as Sombra. This person is weaker and vulnerable when I hack them. But the problem with Sombra versus dive heroes is Sombra is not very good versus Tracer. Very easy to spy check, very easy to force her Translocator. Not very good versus Genji, and I know that's a bit of a hot take. But a Genji dashes onto a Sombra, that generally will force her Translocator almost immediately, and a dash for a Translocator is an excellent trade for a Genji. The other risk as well is that she's not even particularly good versus Monkey. Not as good as she is compared to like a Ball. For Monkey has Bubble to play around her foolishness and her shenanigans. And a hack on a Kiriko and Ana isn't like an instant one-shot threat of assassination like it is in some other supports. So I think Sombra is probably a reasonable swap here, but I don't think it's an optimal pick at all. I do like, actually, ironically, the Genji better, and I would have gone as far to say that I would have liked to see Happy even stick with the Sojourn a little bit more. Now, that is my gut, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, my gut is almost certainly wrong. It's almost certainly wrong, because these guys have scrimmed a lot more with these heroes and with these situations, so they probably have a much better read of exactly how we can play around Sombra's limitations and how they can make it work with Happy's hero pool. Maybe Happy has something to go, but I'm just going to explain to you the limitations of why I don't like the Sombra pick, but I want to go into, most importantly, with the humility that these guys know what they're doing. They've been scrimming this for at least for a little bit, so they probably at least have an idea of what this is supposed to accomplish. Now, I'm actually curious, what would you do with Sombra here? So you're not very good at controlling the DPS. Maybe you play more for tank trades. Maybe you play more about playing more open sightlines, because remember, Sombra does have pretty decent range when compared to a Genji Tracer. You play like a Sombra 76, that's probably going to be more of what we're seeing. Hey, Sunshine. Spark in Houston. Okay, so bit of a stagger, bit of an overextension actually from Shy here. Yeah, because oh my gosh. So he goes for the locator, I think. I think Shy thinks the locator's in the Mega. And then whoa. I mean, this is why we play Kiriko, y'all, you know? Like, I mean, that is, I'm half joking, because we obviously talked about a lot of the other values that Kiriko brings, but you know, and Violet's gonna get out too, you know? And there it is. And that really hurts the snowball here. And so now we got a little bit of an ultimate game. Now, what I expect to happen here with the Sombra Tracer is we might see... Okay, here's what the Sombra is really good at. We talk about controlling space and angles. Let's pull up our Microsoft Paint again. Gosh, this is an abomination. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't know why I ever thought it would be a good idea to do things. Okay, so we talk about controlling angles of place. Sombra is not that good in close range sightlines, right? This is just a horrible color. Like, we already discussed that she's not going to be very good at 2v2ing a Winston Tracer compared to like a Tracer or even a Sojourn in some situations. Maybe in longer sightlines she's okay, but let's actually think really carefully about this. What else? What is another strength of Sombra? So she's got a little bit more range than Genji Tracer, but actually, what is the real strength of Sombra? Right. Remember we talked about how we cannot dive Ana. You have to earn the flanks and angles so that you can set up a successful dive. Well, do you? That's what Sombra does. Sombra says, that's a cute angle or flank, I'm going to just ignore it and go to your backline immediately and stage on your backline. She skips the staging process, and to an extent. You guys kind of see what I'm saying? So what that might mean is that we might mean, it's not even necessarily about, oh, we can kill Ana, because I don't think a Sombra by herself can kill an Ana, right? Because your Tracer still has to stage, your Winston still has to stage, right? They still have to win the angles. So either we have our Sombra punish tank line to shoot Sombra 76, right? Or we do what we're doing here. We fight for the angles and flanks while our Sombra is hacking and threatening an assassination on the enemy Ana. It's a favorable 1v1, usually, if the Sombra plays it well, that will allow us to take a favorable trade elsewhere. So she helps win map control by skipping map control so that her team can win the off angles elsewhere. Do you see what I'm saying? Also great at scouting, right? So you get full information on what map you need to control and stuff like that. So, you know, this is why I'm talking about it. It's stupid for me to just say, oh, Sombra's bad. We have to be very, very careful about because we don't know what these teams are playing for or what strategies they have set up. So what I would expect is I'd expect a Sombra hack on the backline while we're doing something elsewhere that may or may not allow us to get an advantage elsewhere. How would Winston hold up against that? It would depend on the map. If you would probably say versus Zenyatta, a Lucio instead of a Kiriko, potentially, or a Lucio instead of an Ana, so that they could be able to rotate and close the distance. If you can close the distance on the Zen comp, you can run them over. So it depends on the. It depends. It's happy. So it depends on the map. Okay, let's check this out. But we want to see good timing with Sombra. Like, we want to make sure that we're synchronizing our pressure. Now, I will say, Fearless is close. We might see a Nano Monkey here onto the backline with the Sombra hack, because Fearless has been allowed to take a lot of space here, because Violet is distracting them elsewhere. So, Violet's distracting him and allowing Fearless to get awfully close. Let's see what happens. There's a Nano. There's the hack. I mean, look at the timing, y'all. It's perfect, right? We have Violet on an off angle distracting. We have a Nano Monkey. Pelican's not positioned perfectly. Pelican didn't have time. Optimally, you want Pelican either helping here or dueling the Genji or dueling a Tracer or something like that. I would be shocked if Fearless doesn't jump on her. Oh, he forces Suzu and then pursues. Nice. I still think that the hack on the Ana would have been better, but yeah. But this is literally exactly what we said was going to happen, guys. We knew it. This is the advantage of Sombra, right? This is the advantage of Sombra. Why is my Kiriko not getting help? Why is this Nano Monkey not getting slept? Oh crap, 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 oh crap. Right? And meanwhile, Fearless is just having his way with your team. Now, obviously it was Nano versus nothing. But there you go. That is a very quiet Sombra carry, that fight. I mean, Fearless obviously played it very well, but love to see it. It's also worth noting as well that he goes for the Kiriko, knowing that no matter where she TPs, he can pursue. If he goes to Ana, he can pursue. If he goes to DPS, he can pursue. So that's actually really, really, really interesting there. There's nowhere that Langsa can go where he cannot pursue because he did not use his jump to engage. Bang. Over. So satisfying. Bless the dev who decided to give Winston a right click. All right, now let's set up. Let's take positions. Sombra's on the backline again. How does Sombra already have her EMP? I'm sorry, what? Am I missing something here? Ah, that's right. There's the Sombra 76, by the way. Look at that little bit of distance, right? A little bit of distance. You see that? Genji couldn't do this as well. So it's ironic because while Sombra feels like a totally different hero than Sojourn, she has the Sojourn playstyle in terms of playing more mid-range and just poking. She does more damage than any of the heroes on any of the dive teams right now at this mid-range. And then when we go for backline, sorry for the buzz, zappity zap, and then there's your EMP. Nice job. That's just cool. Now, where am I at? I'm completely lost. I was looking down at chat and I lost myself. Okay, let's see what happens. So, Nanoblade, I wonder how strong Nanoblade is in this composition, because you do have this static Ana. Because a lot of the reason why we need to know how strong Nanoblade is we decide if Nanoblade is even good, and we also, it dictates Houston's response, because Houston will either play for chaos, take an early fight, or they'll just take a dry fight, or they might try and actually match it. No, it's just the replay viewer bug. The noise is annoying, but it is what it is. It looks like we're setting up for potentially an early EMP. We could see an EMP into Kitsune Rush, and then that will probably force Nanoblade and Kitsune Rush and Pulse. And then they'll come in next fight with Primal Pulse. I don't know. It definitely looks like Houston's looking for an aggressive thing here. And again, you notice how like Houston, because they have this choke here with their Tracer and their Winston, and again, the Sombra's on the backline, right? Our dive is already staged. Now, and yeah, there's not a lot of off angles here. So EMP. Bam. We go fast, we go hard, they're done. Wow. Oh no. And this works once again because Sombra is staged. No other DPS could do this. If any other DPS did this and ran through the choke here like a Genji dash through, this just would not feel near as good. Disaster for Spark. I cannot. They used their nano. Oh, no. So what we'll probably see here is the spy check. Nice. What we'll probably see here is we'll probably say a Kiriko ult Blade. And I would expect a mirror Kiriko ult. We'll probably see Shu playing it very cautiously. And then Fearless will probably primal. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Again, Kiriko strength, right? I love to see it. You guys remember when I told you guys about how the new Kiriko playstyle, since they actually played the hero, balanced the hero around what she was supposed to be played with? Look at this. Look at this. Key to winning every flank is to have a pocket Kiriko. Every flank is yours. No other support can do this. Not Lucio, not Brig, not Ana, not Zen. Totally free. You win the flank. Shy can't take this stage. Shy can't take the angle. Shy can't set up a pulse bomb. That's it. Now all we have to do is chill. We have 15 seconds of free. We can farm our EMP. We got a little bit greedy. Okay. I want to know how this fight is lost. So what happens with Shu? Shu really just needs to chill here. Yeah, Shu needs to chill. Shu needs to chill. Shu gets baited. Shu. Violet Hardy goes. They hard pocket each other in the Kiriko, but it's not quite enough. That's actually so funny. That's actually so funny. How fast is Ana heal? Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. I will say this though. I will say this. This is a great blade from Leave. So I actually talked about this with I coached a top 500 Genji today. And one of the things we talked about how is Blade is just a horrific ultimate at opening because a lot of the enemy's pressure is on you. The greedier the play or the cooldown or the skill or the ultimate, the later you want to do it. This works because all the cooldowns have been used. He's got a bubble with him. This blade is cooked. So it's not so much the mechanics of this blade as in the timing of this blade is perfect. There's Suzu, there's Nade, there's Sleep. It's just a free blade. We honestly with the respawns we don't even need to Kiriko ult now. So a bit of a fumble from Houston. I'm surprised they're even committing more here. Because they have a massive respawn advantage here. I mean, even that pulse feels too much, right? You have a massive respawn advantage. All right, Leave goes Cassidy. Man, these are some weird swaps, y'all. Hey, Tio. Yes, Fearless did block Shu's heal and a Violet. I don't think it would have saved him though, because the slash would have. I think the slash would have killed it either way. Cassidy swap is interesting. Now, Cass has a little bit more flexibility than he's had sometimes in the past because Stick is more powerful than it's ever been. It's probably better than Flash because Cassidy is not as concerned about Winston so much as he is about Tracer. And so I think Grenade is a little bit better versus those matchups, in my opinion. And the roll damage reduction is nice. He still has his 25 HP. It's a choice. Let's put it that way. It's a choice. So what I would guess is that we have Leave playing angles where he can bait dives, and then we try and pocket him. I actually think this is going to limit how aggressively Lengsa plays, because Lengsa can't play with Shy as much because we probably need our Kiriko to actually bail Leave out of jail. I don't know. We now have two fragile targets that Lengsa has to worry about. I don't know. Oh, what's going on here? This is trolling. Oh, I will say that the Cassidy punishes the lack of discipline with the dive really hard. This is kind of just like a goofy little just a pressure jump, immediately forced out from the Cassidy grenade, and then because we still have two people in spawn, and we're not actually diving, Fearless just gets chunked. Watch this, y'all. And of course, the other thing too is Leave just is going to clip people's heads. So watch this. There's the force. She's out immediately. So there's that too. I agree about the roll. And now that, oh my gosh, dude, I would be punching the drywall if I was shy. God. It's just ridiculous. Great sleep from Shu. It's going to force an early primal. This is very peelable. And actually now Spark has to be really careful about how hard they overextend for this, because this guy, I don't think they're killable anymore. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think you got to be really careful here. Because Gushui can even die there. That's a bit of an early nano. But they are going to catch Leave overextended. And this is probably... Oh! Bro, what is this game, y'all? What is this game? So, okay, I will say this. Early nano. You force them into an early primal. Maybe they're thinking that Pelican's going to die. Does Pelican have recall? Yeah, yeah, this is just too early. So we're reaching. We're reaching. Okay, so let me define what reaching is, okay? So once again, we're going to pull it up here. Actually, it might even be better to just do whatever. So reaching is like, if you guys saw my recent video on YouTube about the line is just basically where we're fighting. This is our team. This is the enemy team, okay? Ultimately, if we're on attack or defense, it's going to be a lot of push-pull, whereas one team pushes, the enemy team backs up because they mess up, and then vice versa, right? So we go back, we go back. But the problem sometimes happens is when a single X, or maybe two X's, go a little too deep before the rest of the X crew can follow up. That's called reaching. If you have the support of your team pushing with you, then you can continue to push. But if you break the line of the enemy team without also having your team follow up, then you're reaching. And the problem with reaching is that either one of two things happens. Either you die, or you get your cooldowns forced. And honestly, 3-3, you don't do enough pressure because you don't have any help. Even a nano tracer isn't scary enough to an entire enemy dive team. Yeah, so the panic nano may or may not have been a good call. I'm more talking about why this doesn't work. Because if you look here, it's a let's go, let's go, let's go, and the glowing tracer body is just not matched by aggression from the rest of the team. Happy's not staged. Violet, the very aggressive Kiriko, is not ready, not staged. Winston's not staged. We just pulled the trigger a little early. And I think even here, Pelican needs to be very careful. We forced Gushui to overextend, right? Gushui wasted his entire primal. He broke the line. He reached too far without follow-up from his team. Pelican reaches right there and then feels like, oh, I have to. How many times have you gotten nanoed, guys, in a bad position and felt like I had to go in? That's reaching. We want to avoid that whenever we can. And so Pelican now feels like he has to get value, so they're trying to push, but it doesn't feel good. Do you notice, guys, where are the angles and flanks here? Where's the map control right now? Where's the map control right now? You're not always going to have time to set it up, but this is atrocious. This is atrocious. This is what happens when we force too fast and we don't settle. The enemy team messed up, take 2 seconds, then punch them in the mouth. Because now you're going to force a dive, and yes, Leave is overextended, right? No, Leave is not overextended. Leave. Jeez, this guy. There you go. You're done. The Leave might die here, though. No. That should be a fight win for Spark. Let's see if they're able to kill the Winston. Now it's just gonna be about mechanics. Lingsa should be able to TP out. That's it. Pelican becomes priority. Fearless becomes priority, actually, because he's got no primal. On these, Pulse Storm is such an unbalanced ultimate and pro hands. Because it's one of those cooldowns where it's just like, oh, we just lost because they stuck, right? There's literally nothing to it. It's a lot like Widowmaker headshot, where it's like, you can play things well, but yeah. Uh-oh, we got a spawn camp on Monk. Oh, Violet gets greedy. Bro, what? This is a very chaotic fight. Okay, so we have a spawn camp happening. Violet tries to farm. Tries to panic Kirill to get it off before he dies. Yeah. Unfortunate. I feel like Spark should probably win this, though. But then Langsa, how does Langsa die? I don't know that that was necessary. He just doesn't have a TP's too late. That's really it. A lot of goofy errors, I think, from support lines here. No way. What? How? Oh. Surely Shu dies. Yes. Yes. Pelican plays her on stick. That's it, y'all. That's it. That should be it. Oh my gosh, that's insane. So a lot of reaching, I think, from both teams, and a lot of silly deaths. I'm trying to think here. What's to take away? Honestly, feels like a lot of just team play errors. We've seen some crazy mechanical plays. We've seen some great stuff, but it honestly sometimes feels like if either team had just disengaged or waited 2 seconds or communicated that they are rotating or I need help, then I think it would have gone a long way. I think we can look at this from a really broad macro perspective, but honestly, a lot of the mistakes from both teams are just coming down to somebody just wasn't communicating to the right person. They were not on the same page. Do teams usually overreach in scrims? Yes, they do, because there's a very careful line between punishing enemy errors and reaching. It's fishy. Okay, now, this is when things get what I would call saucy. First off, notice the Brig defensive opener. It's interesting that they open with Kiriko on attack and Brig on defense. Honestly, that's kind of the opposite of what I would expect, because I'd expect the Brig strength to be in peeling, where you would be rotating more. And when you have on defense, you already have a safe position with your Ana, so you could play them more aggressive, more proactive to support. So I'm not sure if they're just testing it or they have a different understanding. One nice thing about Brig on defense is that you're able to consistently deny the enemy tank from taking high ground. Not really sure, to be honest. I do find it interesting that Sojourn is opened on the defense. I think that makes a lot of sense. I'm sure that's probably with the more open space on first point is probably the better play. My curiosity is if they're going to stay Sojourn on second point. Moving on to the attack, it's a Kiriko Lucio Doom comp. It's going to be about rotating to high ground as quickly as they possibly can. Probably going to involve, so you can remember, chat, we don't have to overthink this. It's going to be about controlling angles, controlling space, controlling flanks, right? So what I expect is we may or may not clear Tracer, but we're going to be at some point rotating up through somewhere on this side of the map where we can close the distance. Look at their comp. It's not hard. If you're going to be able to get your Lucio composition onto the Ana Brig, you're going to do pretty well. Now, I will say one advantage of Lucio when it comes to map control, guys, is if we're looking at dive map control when it comes to stuff like this, right? Remember, we're talking about controlling angles, controlling flanks, controlling sightlines, setting up map control for you to be able to dive. What Lucio does sometimes is Lucio just says, we can ignore flanks by just running it down quickly. We don't spend a lot of time when we're getting crossfired. We cut down the time that we're being crossfired. Or Lucio can do what I call the sweeper rule, where you sweep out one angle at a flank and then move on to the next one. So Lucio doesn't have a lot of like angle reach, but it's like I'm trying to think of a good way to put it. You take a sightline and you go swash it all out. You rotate your entire group as a unit, clear out that whole flank as a team, And then you move on to the next flank, and you clear out that whole flank. And you go from point to point to point, clearing out flanks. And because you're doing it as Lucio, you can do it really fast before they can retake that angular flank. Yeah, I'm dressed up like a giant banana today. Not on purpose. Can you guys even see me when I'm doing that stuff? I realized I like move my face cam and like whatever. Okay. So I'm curious to see. I expect tempo, fast clearing of flanks, and trying to stage quickly and on a brig. Yeah, it's like sweeping in area. Bank. We're gonna clear out Winston. Man, they're just going. I don't like what Pelican's doing. Pelican needs to be really safe. I don't. How do they get so much space from that? Okay, let's talk about this. I think Spark is playing this very poorly. I'm going to be honest with you guys. So first thing first, I really do not like the starting positions of the enemy backline. So we see on a brig on high ground, and then we scout Lucio comp, Lucio comp, Lucio comp, and we drop to the floor immediately. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is bad. This is not a wise decision from Monk at all. You need to abuse high grounds, because remember, one of the disadvantages of Lucio is that there is no range to the hero whatsoever. He cannot pack people from a distance or shoot people from a distance, and he can't do anything. So we talk about them rotating through right here, okay? If they do that, then yes, you're going to need to drop, okay? But that being said, you can sit your Ana up on high ground and your brig here to pack your tracer and just control high ground in space, and play your Sojourn in the most aggressive angle possible and punish the enemy DPS. What I don't understand is why you see a Lucio composition and then you drop your support into the exact rotation position where you can't shoot them anymore and you're easy to be sped on. I don't understand this position from Monk at all. And this all assuming Lengsa drops, and then because Lengsa's given up space, now Leave can't get packs in pocket, so now Leave has to give up space, and so now Leave has to give up space, now Shy has to give up space, and all this time, do you see how little damage Houston is taking? Imagine if Leave was being pocketed up here, or Shy was being pocketed up here, or we still had Monk up in this high ground off angle here, they would be taking a lot of damage, even by statue. Monk put himself exactly where Houston wanted him. Exactly. So I was very confused at first why Houston was allowed to just not even rotate and just kind of clump up. I mean, look at this, guys. Look at how cowardly they're playing. Look at this. At the very least, you would like Shy to be getting packed up here and force them to dive him so he can shift away. But look at how cowardly. When you give, listen, this is dive fundamentals. I'm very disappointed to see this. When you give up space, high grounds, off angles, long sight lines, you confirm that the dive will kill you, because you give the Pelican the flank, you give Fearless the proximity that he needs to immediately go in without taking any damage. Heck, you even give Happy the high ground if he wants the high ground. Very disappointing. Now all Houston has to do is stick to this corner, clear out Monkey, and then run him over. All they have to do, and they Spark literally cannot stop them from clearing out Monkey because they can't even see their own Monkey. They can't even see Goushue. This is dive fundamentals. This is dive fundamentals. You cannot give up space like this. You cannot give, especially in long sightlines, right? Like you have nice, long, juicy high grounds. You can poke these guys out. Makes the Lucio feel bad. Make the Doomfist reach, right? Or we talked about this. This is objectively bad. And so what happens is they try to walk forward, but do you see they still, even as they walk forward, their sightlines suck. Look at the brick sightlines. Look at the Sojourn sightlines. They just don't have good space. So even though you could theoretically see that maybe Houston overextends a little bit there, it doesn't matter. Your positions don't allow you to actually punish them. You have no pressure on them whatsoever. This is just disastrous. Now the bubble's out. There's the nade defensively. Look at the map control, guys. Look at the map control. Look at the control. I'm curious, did we see Sleep Dart here? Or is Fearless just trying to avoid it around the wall? Yeah, he's playing it around the wall. You see that? Playing around Sleep Dart. Very smart. I mean, it's going to take a mechanical play or an overextension from Houston to lose this. This is, and the funny thing is, Chad, is like, who's going to die here first for Houston? For Spark? Is it going to be the Tracer who's not getting pocket? Is it going to be the backline that's now isolated and pincered? Is it going to be the Sojourn? I don't know. I hope Houston wins this one just so we can talk about why, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, there it is. I mean, it's just a matter. It's usually a matter of time. I would say that defenders have an inherent advantage, but just based off this positioning alone, I would say Houston has like a 60% chance, 65% chance to win this fight off of this. Nice little boop from Shu. Shu gets out. Lingsa tries to follow, overextends, and then gets punished for it. Now, you can make a pretty good argument there that I think Lingsa kind of overextended. Yeah, Lingsa definitely a little overextended a wee bit, but yeah, it's just... There's just a passive advantage. You guys know of Egoist Cat, that guy? He talks about passive advantage, as in both teams just existing and one team slowly accrues a resource advantage. That's map control. When you have map control, you inherently do more damage because you have better off angles and you deny the enemy ability to do the DPS. Now this is interesting. One advantage out of losing the map is that you build support ults a lot faster because the enemy DPS are pummeling you. So let's see if they're able to get anything out of this nano. Oh, Shu gets caught off. He doesn't get the boop. He tries to boop. He gets naded, and he dies for it. Ooh. Here's a question for you guys, chat. What's more important, die fundamentals or mechanics? The fact that there's even mixed opinions tells you how much that you need to know about Overwatch. Because I honestly, guys, I don't know the answer. I don't think there is an answer. It's an impossible answer, really. It's an impossible answer. Mechanics matter so much that even a very well executed dive can fail. You know? But yeah, I agree. It depends. Fearless is reaching. Do you guys want to see the definition of reaching? Even with ult, this is reaching. And the ult is why he's reaching, by the way, too. This is a very common mistake. I have ult, therefore I can go in aggressively, but why go in aggressively right now? Why not wait 2 seconds for your backline to walk forward and then now go in hard? That's reaching. That's reaching. Literally textbook reaching from Fearless right now. We're even. Tracer for Brig. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. But look at Fearless's aggression in comparison to his backline. His backline is not... Now, like, some of you guys are going to say, well, then... Like, how does this work, right? Well, the problem is that Fearless is in and has been in for 2 or 3 seconds and has been consistently taking damage and burning cooldowns. Gushui hasn't used a lick. Now, Gushui is in, but Fearless is already half dead. So we would want Fearless to go in... Now. Now he does exactly what he does. And just based off of that alone, would have allowed him to live that much longer. Or bait more follow-up attention. He's reaching. He's reaching. My phone is ringing. So, Fearless. Wait. We're still walking. Go. Right? You cannot do this. This is a big feat from Fearless. Even if he ults there, there's no follow-up on the ultimate whatsoever because we're busy peeling off Gushui. At the very least, you want a Doomfist 3v1ing, Winston 3v1ing, but instead we got a Doomfist 3v1ing and then basically dying and then a Winston 3v1ing. And the problem with that is now that Fearless is dead, even if Fearless dies, the worst case scenario has happened so that now we can actually push You guys see that? We can help Gushui now. Because Fearless went so early, we can actually help Gushui 4v3. See you, Varashi. No, not yet. So this has been a lot of reaching, guys. A lot of impatience. A lot of impatience. A lot of impatience. Pretty reasonable timing from this push here. You see the leave, Gushu's in, we got Shai's in. I feel like this is a little bit of reaching. You see how much easier life is when you're not cowardly, holding space. Look at this. Look at this. Look at Shai, guys. Look how aggressive Shai's feeding, right? Shai's feeding, right? Right? Guys, right, guys. Shai's feeding. Shai's feeding. Check it. But wait, Shai is where is Shai? Chat. Keep pressing the wrong button. Oh my gosh. Okay. Shai is feeding. But look, Winston Tracer, right? Aggressive pocket. He gets dove, he dies, right? No. Oh no, then Shu uses beat. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. That's really bad. Mechanics. Ah, I hate mechanics so much. It makes it so boring. All right, so what happens here? What happens here? Let's actually go back a little bit. Can I stop my tank from reaching by supporting him on Tracer? Yes. If you see your tank go in, try to match his tempo. Try to match his tempo. Even if he's feeding, try to help. Try to help. Otherwise, he will die. Or he will waste his cooldowns and get nothing done. I will say this. This is why I am not a fan of the support positioning right here. It is just simply too easy for On a Brig to get traded when they're on the floor. It's just too easy to isolate and kill them. It's just too easy. If they were on high ground, they could do every single thing that they're doing right now in terms of supporting their DPS, pocketing, and shooting, but they'd be in a significantly harder position to punish. It just baffles me that we have decided that On a Brig positioning and rollout, and then also we get split here as well. Watch this. 1 split kill, 2 split kill. Ah, man. And then Violet just pulls Violet things and does the kill. I've been very disappointed. Another pulsar. I've been very disappointed with the rollout and play from Lengsa and Monk here. It's been very disappointing. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It feels like such a basic thing too. Oh, Charlie Niner. So Rally is a busted ultimate. Violet?
Enemy here.
I think Violet dry TPs. Yeah, Violet just dry TPs. Oh, and he doesn't even get the Suzu. Okay, that's a goofy error. Because actually, Houston's in a really good spot to just kite out both of these ultimates and just use their Sojourn ult to keep them at space. But then they not even need to C9. Wait, Violet ults there? Wait. Wait, what happens? I didn't even see this, guys. I'm sorry, I missed this. So much stuff is happening, you know? This is the quote-unquote problem with dive, is so much is happening in terms of the angles and the flanks and the space that it is really hard to keep track of things. I mean, I guess so, yeah. It was just a clunky fight as a whole. I don't think the ult was necessarily bad. Dry TP? I don't know. That's just honestly, it's a terrible term. I just meant that he didn't know where he was TPing to. He didn't know the status of where and who he was TPing to, and that's why he dies. Because if you look at Happy here, Happy's feeding, but Happy knows that he's feeding and is able to shift out no problemo, right? That's what Sojourn's good at. But then if you use your cooldown to get to the person that has a cooldown to escape, you now no longer have a cooldown to follow them. Blind TP. Yes. Much better term. Thank you, guys. Sombra swap. So I don't know. The Lucio comp did not look so good. Did not look very well executed. I was a little bit I was very disappointed with the Ana Brig giving up space. But then what ended up happening is that we never actually got a nice little rotation at all. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. When the enemy team gives up the space to the Lucio comp and you still can't make it work, maybe Lucio comp is not for you. Like, because like I said, Spark literally spoon fed them everything they needed to do to make the Lucio comp work, and they couldn't get it done. I just will never not. Oh my gosh!
I'm with you.
Like like when it's insane at 0.25 speed, it's insane. All right. Oh my gosh. All right. So again, the Sombra swap. The Sombra swap is the same kind of thing that we talked about earlier. More pressure on backline. I will say the Sombra swap I think is a little bit weaker or more powerful, excuse me, versus the Ana Kiriko variant, because the Lucio Brig are both pretty excellent at peeling off and removing Sombra, and they're good at. So I do think that the Sombra looks a little bit more attractive when you're running the double flex support setup. You think Kiriko is OP? I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get in that conversation. Oh, whoa! Check this out, y'all. This is unbelievably lucky. Watch this in slow motion. Check it. Hacked. But the Suzu was, I guess, already out of her hand, maybe peeing a little bit there. And so the Suzu in the air cancels the hack and is able to survive. Wild. I will say this, I don't really like this from Pelican. I think Pelican could be doing a better job like marking Gushui and scouting for Shy. I think Pelican is stage 2 deep here. Remember, a dive is all about controlling space and angles. If Violet is able to hold this position here, we're in a really good spot to dive their backline. But Violet gets really no help from either Fearless or Pelican and almost dies for it. I really am... This is not good. We're getting too greedy here. We don't need to be worrying about backline. They're MIA. Control the flangles. Control the flangles, guys. Like Pelican really, now Pelican has to give up the high ground. That's not good from Pelican. Pelican needs to be more attentive to not backline. Because like, look at what Pelican actually does here. He's spy checking, but I mean, yeah, not good. Good aggressive position from Happy. I love to see it. I would not have even have slid out there. There's no nano or primal to worry about. Maybe they did track that. I'm not sure. So essentially the only thing you have to worry about is if you overextend into Sojourn and you use your shift to get out from a dry dive, then they will use their ultimate and then pursue you after you don't have your slide. Whew. Going in hard on Ana. This is what I call cheating, by the way. Where you don't set up a flank angle because you're so close to the Ana, you don't even need to set up a flank. Like, look at Fearless's HP. He comes in at full HP. Now, he immediately punches as well to try and cancel Sleep Dart animation. Because if he slams like this and doesn't immediately punch, he gets slept. Alright, so then Pelican tries to follow, but notice where Pelican came from, right? You see that? He took the flank. He gets hit by whip shot though. That's really unfortunate. So he's a little bit late.
Meteor strike.
There's the I win button. And I wouldn't say this is necessarily reaching from Fearless. I wouldn't say it's necessarily reaching because his team was engaged. I think maybe there just could be a little bit better communication about enemy. It feels like Houston's backline's playing this a little too safe, even though it's a 3v2. Because you see it's a 3v2 over here, but they're losing the 3v2 even with the Doomfist ultimate. So maybe it's the pulse. I'm not really too sure. Yeah, let's watch wings. So like this whip shot is actually so important.
Looking better already.
Notice that she's keeping an eye in the flanks. Bang. That means to grab the mini. And she's late. Good peel. Whip shot. Double pack. The burst heal does stack as well. Great whip shot. And now we can just clear out Tracer. We're good to go. We missed the whip shot. Doesn't matter. There's the nade. Great peel. Yeah. Now, Leave overextends a little bit. Why is Leave dying here? Yeah, this is an overextension. This is a way overextension. You don't have recall, you don't have any blinks. This is stupid from Leaf. This is stupid. He should die for that. Ah, guys, it's just so much of it is reaching, you know? You don't have the resources, the cooldowns, the positions to continue to stay. You've gotten a kill. Clean up Fearless, clean up Pelican. You don't have... It took your recall to get the stick, you know? It's just silly. It's just silly. Like, this is a really an unlosable fight that gets a little bit messy because of that. Okay, Happy needs to die. Happy needs to die. Happy needs to die. Okay, Pelican needs to get out. Pelican needs to get out. He can get out. There we go. 2 more minutes. There's the spy checking. We scout out Shy. Whoa, Pelican takes a lot of damage. What shoots Pelican? Is it a shot from... There's the clear. We clear Sombra out of the flank. This is kind of what we talked about with the Sombra. The drawbacks to Sombra is that she's just not that good in 1v1, so she doesn't really win flanks, right? Yeah, there's a lot of coordination issues. You know, a lot of it coordination issues. Does it make sense to limit tests and scrims? Not in terms of composition and playstyles, yes, but going in with 0 blinks into the enemy backline is not limit testing. That's sweetie. Okay, so. We really need to clear out Leave here, I think. I think Pelican probably hunts Leave, maybe? Or maybe they're scared about EMP. I don't like this from Houston here. So they clear out Sombra, but they don't really do a good job scouting positions. So remember, we're retaking space here. Spark has the map control. They have the flank here. Leave, even though they cleared the Sombra, Leave again has the flank here. I don't even know why Pelican leaves. Maybe it's Pulse. He's out. I think, like, yeah, this is unfortunate. This is really unfortunate. I think this is actually potentially losable, even though they have a pretty nice ult bank here. I guess it's about even, but I don't know. Leave's position scares me. Gushui's position here scares me. I don't even know if they're there. I don't even know if they're there. What does Pelican do about a Tracer Sombra? He gets Violet to come with him. He gets Fearless to jump in there, right? Like, remember that's one of the disadvantages of the Brig, is that you playing with Kiriko, you have the opportunity to have direct support. They do squat Gushui. They don't get the stick. There's the MP. Happy should die. There it is. Yeah. They didn't end up using anything though, so Houston's not too unhappy with that outside of the pulse. Do you guys ever have like that grandma that like tells you that you're just the most handsome, intelligent, greatest person in the history of the universe? Like, you're just the greatest. I feel like Violet has that mentality, but just all the time. Just all the time. Like, it's never off. Like, it's always it always I respect the confidence. Let's put it that way. Oh, jeez. Ah! Okay, I will say that fight was lost because Houston just did not clear space. Houston did not clear space. I mean, the EMP was big. The Nano and the Brig was big. But if we go back to this point in time here, if we're not able to scout and clear Gushui or scout and clear leave, like, look at it. Gushui does not deserve to control this space because look at his Ana's LOS. So it's very easy for you as a team to clear out Ana, to clear, or the Winston, to clear out the Tracer. Like, that's the thing, guys. The greedier the flank, the easier it is to clear out with really no effort whatsoever. You just have to check for it. You just have to check for it. So if you're at Houston here, we could clear out Leave, we could clear out the Sombra, we can clear out the Winston, and nobody is going to stop us because there is no follow-up from the backline. They're all far away, right? So all we have to do is do our homework, get Violet up here with Pelican, get rid of stupid Lee, force him to blink away, get a little scouting on Gushui, force him to jump out, disengage, and then we set up. Once we've got better control, better scouting, cleared out their aggressive angles, but they don't do that. They don't do that. I don't even think if he'd hit the shots it would have mattered. I think it was they're too far behind. So this is why it's very important to clear spaces dive. I think that's a perfect example of why it's important. Alrighty, let's keep going. I also think the Sojourn is inherently weaker in second point because the sightlines are a lot worse. So the early spam damage is a lot worse. This is a great setup. Again, this is like what we're talking about with rushing, right? We don't clear space, we don't clear angles, and then look at this. Look at the, remember, dive, guys. Remember dive. Remember, how does dive function? You take angles, you set it for backline. Look at this. 1, 2, 3. 3 angles. Ana's dead. If you can't clear that out and scout it out ahead of time, you've just lost. And the problem here is not necessarily a lack of dive understanding so much as it is a communicational or greed issue. Look at Pelican. Look at Fearless. Look at Happy. They're completely oblivious. They're just completely oblivious. They have no idea what's even going on. They're not even thinking. They're just going in, you know? Let's go, guys. Get in there, you know? You know? I don't even know. Actually, I'm actually concerned. Why does Gushui even die here? We just greeds his bubble, that's all. Mechanical mistake, right? But this is like really not clean from Houston at all. But Violet just does Violet things and look at this guy. Why do we not TP out here? Shy? Did we lose our Translocator? What happens? Shy? Come on, Shy! What? Come on, Shy! You've done your job! You're in one-shot range. I don't know. It's silent. We're bouncing back between not clearing. Here's the 3 things, okay? The broken record things: mechanics, forcing / overextension / greeting, and then not clearing space. This is the ego thing, right? This is the ego thing. Shy. There's no reason for Shy to stay there. I don't even know what. Okay, Pelican needs to survive. Rally. Oh, man. Ah! Please. There's just no way they'd lose to that. There's just no way. What? Pelican, please. Guys, I'm sorry. This is as bad as the Toronto scrum. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is early season Owl, man. It's agony. Like, right here. Nice. Well, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna cut Pelican some credit. I don't think he could have gotten out there. He went in to get the kill. Unlucky. I'm not even mad. Leave dies, surely? Nano Sojourn. Alright, this is it, chat. This is the moment of truth. Uh-oh, Violet's dead. Uh-oh, Violet's dead. They didn't mark the Sombra. Tracer's dead. Big stick by Pelican. 4K! 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 Go, go, go! You got him! He didn't get him. EMP the monkey bubble! Unlucky. Okay. Yeah, just a lot of reaching. A lot of reaching. Violet kind of wasting some ultimates. Really came back to bite him. Not doing a good job clearing. I think Houston needs to do a much better job of clearing space and scouting angles. And Violet needs to stop wasting his ult. We have one more code. We have one more code. Yeah, this is a mess. This is a mess, respectfully. All right. Let's get the next code here. Ilios. I actually think it's such a mess that I wouldn't necessarily study this beyond individual POVs, because I don't think there's a whole lot to learn from it if you were like studying team play, like what they're doing. I would be very. I don't think what they're doing team play wise is it's in very early stages of figuring things out. Yeah. Like, here's the thing, chat. Once again, I want to be very clear that this is just a early scrim. Very early scrim. People are still sorting out team-wide issues. A lot of the mistakes here are probably not even from a lack of understanding, but just a lack of cohesion and a lack of communication, which hopefully with good coaching and really good players, they should be able to solve these issues up, right? No. Okay, let's keep going. I mean, there's really not a lot to add that we haven't already talked about. All we have to do is insert new heroes into our roles. Okay, so chat, we talked about how dive plays, right? You control angles, you either look for isolation on backline, or you find somebody without cool. Because the thing is, it's like, well, who do you dive if everybody's got a cooldown, right? You look at it, well, it doesn't matter who you dive. Tracer without recall. You fight for angles in space so that your DPS have better positions, and during that process, Tracers will burn recalls, Sojourns will burn slides, Kirikos will burn Suzus, and then therefore that becomes a dive target. So then let me kind of explain that one step further, okay? So when we let me actually get a good angle for this to set up here. Okay, so if we do this here, okay, and we have fighting for this space here, fighting for this space here. If, let's say, my Sojourn is able to control this angle here, my Sojourn will do more damage than she would if she was playing, let's say, down here, right? Okay, so if my Sojourn holds here, she does more damage. If she does more damage, she forces more cooldowns. If she forces more cooldowns, that will create, like, let's say she holds this angle here, and she forces a Tracer recall or a Translocate, or let's say an amp. Now that target becomes a dive target, right? So we talked about controlling space and angles so that we can dive backline. Well, it's also because if you control more space and more angles, you do more damage. If you do more damage with just pressing your mouse one, you force more cooldowns. If you force more cooldowns, then literally any of these targets become dive targets. This person, if let's say you took a really good angle with your Sojourn and you force a Tracer recall, she's now diveable. For Suzu or TP, she's not diveable. He's not diveable. He's not diveable. If you get a really good off angle and you get the ball low, heck, you can even dive the ball, right? So it all starts with using good positions to do good damage. Now, what a good position is depends on the composition. For example, I'm pretty darn sure that a Sojourn would like to play in this open sightline on left side. But a Sombra? I don't know. Maybe a Sombra would like to cheat, wrap around behind this way, and then try and get access to backline. Maybe that's the best position for Sombra and dive. A Ball, probably playing along this open sight line here. All right? Why would a Ball want to play on this open sight line, guys? Think very carefully. Why does Ball want to play, especially versus the enemy comp, why does Ball want to play more here? Where does Ball plug in? Hey, congrats, Patty. Nice job, mate. Mega, yeah. Boop, yeah. Even think about just the kit itself. The gun, right? More gun damage, more slams from here, right? Pillars to grapple on, right? So then I, as Ball, want to play for this side of the map because gun, boop, mega. This position, this angle is important to me to do my job, right? So this is where it gets really tricky though, because do you want to control the space to deny Ball this area? Can you even do that? Or are you just confirming his ability to do what he wants by playing in his sight lane? I don't know. So this will be interesting. It doesn't, we don't change how dive plays just because we insert a different hero. It plays the exact same. It just plays more, what space that you control depends on the hero that you're playing with. Isn't Ball just always better in open space? Usually, yes. Over Monkey, yes. Monkey has a much harder time. Monkey is a close range hero. Ball is more flexible. Ball can close the distance. Ball has a little bit more range with his gun. The other thing, okay, what's the other difference about Ball versus Monkey? What is maybe the most important difference about Ball versus Monkey? Bubble, right there, okay? Bubble, I love it. I love it. What's the big thing there? How does Bubble affect? What is the whole thing with Bubble? When monkey is in, monkey is in. Yeah? Yeah? Right. Okay, so I'm gonna do this only once because I've done this so many times and I'm gonna do it quickly. You guys want to talk about tempo? This is what tempo looks like. Tempo in Overwatch generally doesn't have a lot to do with how fast you want to go, but more about when you want to go. For example, monkey, very weak tank, very strong tank, then very weak tank, and then very strong tank, and then very weak tank, and then very strong tank, right? Ball, when he has his shields, is very strong, but not as strong as a monkey. And then he doesn't have his shields, but he still has his grapple, right? And a slam. So ball looks like this. A ball without any cooldowns is stronger than a monkey. And he gets his cooldowns much faster. But he will never reach the peaks of monkey strength. Monkey, the king of the jungle. So if you're playing a monkey composition, your timing needs to be synchronized on getting value, either not even getting kills, but forcing cooldowns, getting space when your monkey has bubble and when your monkey uses bubble, right? And then when your monkey doesn't have bubble, the monkey composition is extremely weak, and then strong, and then weak, and then strong. So for ball, we need to make sure that we don't immediately die and give up a ton of space when monkey uses cooldown, and then when monkey has used his cooldown, we need to continue to apply pressure because our ball is still a useful hero. Meanwhile, monkey is not. This is tank macro in a nutshell. Every tank, every hero in the entire game has a flowchart that looks like this. Let's actually look at their composition, chat. Look at Team Red. What is another tempo-oriented hero on Team Red? Ball's pretty consistent. Kiriko and Lucio are fairly consistent. Tracer's Sombra, right, Sombra. And Tracer to an extent as well, whether Tracer has recall or not. But Sombra, 100%, night and day. Now, if that Sombra goes in aggressively and gets her locator forced, you're literally down a man. You might as well be dead. Sojourn's a lot more consistent. Now, Sojourn still has her shift and her E that she relies off of. Does that Sojourn have rail? So every hero has this. But Sombra is one of the most exaggerated black and white heroes that there is. So we have an interesting dynamic where we have a ball with high uptime and a Sombra with low uptime. So what I expect here is we'll probably see the Sombra used to control Mega so that our ball can play this open sightline. And if we can force the Sojourn to play back here and never get this open sightline, that means that the Sojourn won't do a lot of damage, which means that we will get point control. We will get point control. And also we'll get the angles to set up a dive on the Sojourn if we want to. That Sojourn won't be able to take the positions that she needs to force cooldowns to do damage. So let's see what happens. I imagine we'll probably see a hacked Mega. I mean, that's probably why we're playing Sombra here. And there it is. So theoretically, if Spark plays their cards right, we should control co-side, which means that we should have an inherent advantage. Let's see how Houston plays around it. There it is. Because even though, do you notice the threat of the Winston bubble keeps Spark playing with a little bit of respect, right? Gushui doesn't have to play with that same level of respect. The double boop. Love to see it. And now, guys, this is the moment of truth. Winston bubble has been used. Even without them cook, it's over. We win this fight now. Winston bubble's used, not enough value was gotten out of it. They're trying to force a kill, but it's over. Where was Shy's Translocator? A little bit lazy here. A little bit lazy. I don't know. I think a little bit deeper Translocator. This Translocator is going to get destroyed. There it is. So really, really nice trade. Really nice trade from Houston there. I'm just going to zoom through this. Oh, jeez, man. Like, how is this as complicated as it is? This is silly. This is silly. Respectfully. This is just a feat from Linksa. No reason for him to be leading the charge there. That's once again what we call timing, right? Chill, guys. Chill. Why is my Lucio leading the charge here? 3, 2, 1. Now Lucio could go in, but Lucio goes in just a little bit too early and then dies for it. So, Just trolling the lobby. We should never be leading the charge here. And then now this is actually a little bit hairy, isn't it? Oh no, guys. Man. Now Fearless has bubble. And there's the value of bubble, right? Oh my gosh, guys. This is just unreal. This is just unreal. It's unreal. Alright, so really truly, once again, it feels like we have a massive advantage from Spark. Spark craps their pants in the process, and they just fumble. They fumble the bag. They fumble the bag. Yeah. Yeah, literally perfect. Literally perfect. Oh, bad. Okay, wait. I want to see this. This is going to be glorious. Ba-da-da-dun, da-da-da-dun, ba-da-dun. Oh my gosh! Literally, like 3/4 of a second later, and he's cooked. Oh my gosh. Honestly, y'all, I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like Fearless and Pelican, to an extent, deadlifted this fight. Let's watch. There's absolutely no way that they were able to win this fight. You know what? Actually, Chad, I lied. This bubble is great. I didn't think this bubble was that good at the start, but this is actually great because look what they get out of this bubble. They're able to walk on both DPS. He's able to maintain his armor. He forces Sombra Translocator, and he forces Suzu. Actually, what forced Suzu? Am I missing something here? Oh, okay, we almost missed it. We almost missed it. Disaster, okay? And then Fearless forces Suzu, Locator, takes no damage, jumps to a high ground, which stages him perfectly for backline, forces Lingsa out, okay? Violet dies. Lands perfectly on 3 targets. Credit to Pelican as well for forcing and breaking Translocator and not dying in the process. He's going Sombra. There's the boop. A little bit of pressure on the Tracer. We get bubble on point. They rushed a point. They should not have rushed a point. They should have just patiently waited and broken bubble and then killed Fearless. By rushing to point, this sets up Lingsa, who dies. Another Suzu used. Fearless is waiting patiently, scouting. Scouts Tracer, survives with 50 HP, grabs the Mega on the millisecond, forces, oh, not doesn't even force recall, just straight up gets the kill. Unreal. Unreal. So Translocator goof up, wasted Suzu, but wow. Wow. What a play. What a play, y'all. What a play. I will say this. Look at the space control and the map control despite losing their Sojourn immediately. Look at how much of the map they're able to control here. Look at how they're able to choke them out. Now, that's the Winston bubble effect right there, and having a great Winston behind it as well. This is crazy. This is absolutely insane. And the problem here now is now that you have your Sojourn in a power position for next fight, which is a huge problem. A huge problem, because now your Sojourn, remember we talked about controlling Mega Side. They kind of did it, but now they've lost it. Now they've lost it. And you're not going to get that Mega back again. I don't think you're going to get that Mega back again. Maybe they will. No, they won't. And as long as our Sojourn is able to hold this power position, ignoring ultimates, we should be good to go. Now, I'm actually kind of curious what they do here. I think the only thing that they can do is I don't think Shy can actually like win any off-angle duels here. I think what's probably going to happen is you're probably going to have Shy wrapping all the way around behind this direction, setting up behind your cover, setting up a hack on probably the Sojourn because she's the real damage threat, and then setting up a ball slam from either main, and then probably you'll have Leave blinking in from probably somewhere on main from this angle here. Let's see what happens. Uh-oh, Pelican overextended. Uh-oh, Pelican. What was Pelican doing? Was Pelican on high? Where was Pelican? Yeah, Pelican was on high.
Hold that objective.
Now, my problem with this... Okay, chat. You guys have seen my video of the line, right? So, we talk about kill box, right? Or the line, the better term of kill box. Where is Houston set up to fight? Where? Very clear answer to this one. Very clear. Point, right? Maybe not even point, just here. Pelican is not set up to fight around point. Pelican is set up to fight around choke. So it is very easy for Spark to safely put every man on the job of clearing out Pelican with no repercussion from the rest of Houston, because Houston is in a position to help them there. This is a big mistake from Pelican. This is a very good position for dive if this is where you want to hold. Pelican is on one page, his team is on another. This is a disaster. And even if Pelican doesn't die here, he loses his off angle, he probably will lose his recall and his blinks. Right? And now Pelican's out while Fearless is in. I mean, honestly, it even looks like Fearless is trying to bail him out of jail here. That being said, it's all part of a big brain play because it prevents Shy from setting up his flank on behind, because Shy is spending more time chasing Pelican. It was a big play. Big brain play. Suzu, skillful play. Oh, Shy. You guys ready? Boo. That's actually a little bit lucky from Pelican that he just happened to also be there, but that's pretty funny. That's funny. I'm not gonna lie with y'all. That's pretty good. And now they push forward with Pelican, and then we're good to go. Having the Primal there first as well before anything else was also really helpful, because Primals is a good ultimate, but it definitely loses a lot of value as the portals come online and you know, you have EMPs and things like that. There's a lot less to Primal in this comp, but yeah, that's wild. Would I not prefer Briggs in with Ball? Well, no, not necessarily. You don't have to. Like, Ball is just treated like another dive tank, right? So Ball can disrupt, Ball can dive, Ball can pressure. We could look at a little bit of like what Gushui is doing here. So what Gushui needs to do, there's just so much happening, guys. I'm going to miss some things. I'm not going to be able to catch every detail. So what Gushui needs to do is Gushui just needs to trade and duel their DPS. Because a Ball is a lot more comfortable marking a Tracer or a Sombra than any other hero is. So if we're not getting good slams on Sombra, or Sojourn, excuse me, then what we do here is okay, but it's just not that good. You see, like, we're just kind of standing there and we're shooting Winston. That's not a great trade for Ball. So what I would like to see here from Gushui is even just like a roll through on this backline and maybe a little bit of distraction, play around Mega, play around your E to prevent follow-up. Either that or duel a Tracer. I think Gushui is just kind of standing here, and this is the problem with that, right? If we go to Happy could just light this guy up, right? It's just not good pressure. I don't think Gushui has done a whole lot here. A great boot by Violet here. Ball is also really hard. Like, okay, I will say this. One of the downsides of Ball compared to Winston is that Ball can't play around with Lucio Boop as easily as Winston can. It's very easy. Like, watch this right here. Ball goes in for a rotation, and if your Lucio is well positioned, that's really it, y'all. Like, even if you hold on to your grapple, there's a timer on the grapple as it is, but also you're not able to build up the same level of momentum, and they also know it's coming, right? So that is one thing that Winston has with Bubble over Ball. So I don't know. I don't feel like Gushui is getting a whole lot done outside of that initial boop. And then now the Sojourn comp is just walking forward. EC2C is shoot. But yeah, I assume that's what you meant. Yeah. So Ball can contribute more in the actual DPS duels. Because he has his own mobility and his own gun, and you don't have to worry about getting your bubble forced by a tracer. There's also not a lot that a monkey can do in the tank matchup against Ball. I mean, you don't... Well, why would you shoot... The problem with that logic is that only works in a vacuum, okay? Because I agree with you, a Ball can do a great job shooting monkey, but not when you're shooting it in front of a Sojourn. Right? That's not the highest return on investment for your hero. Yes, if you match a monkey on the flank, you're going to win that 1v1, but this is not a 1v1 right now. So there's higher return on investment things for Gushui to do. Where is Spark playing from? I'm honestly, nobody knows. I'm not honestly not too sure. So there's a Sombra engage on the back line. Gushui, another advantage, one advantage of the ball is that you're able to stage a lot easier and they can't really stop you. So we'll probably just see an EMP, and I imagine it's probably going to be on the Sojourn. They don't even EMP, they just straight dry dive. That's going to force that. Okay, so Shy is now in their spawn. The Sombra's out. We're going to walk forward while the Sombra's out. They do a good job disengaging. Fearless is on the Kiriko. There's a fat EMP. But unfortunately, Leave gets killed right before. There appears to be a little bit of a miscommunication. Leave is playing too aggressively too early. So he doesn't have his recall back yet, which is huge. But also, the Sombra and Ball aren't in yet. So Leave is in now. But Leave is already dead by the time that the EMP happens. So that's a bit of a timing mishap. Because this is a good EMP, and probably an EMP that would have resulted in a kill or two, if that had been timed betterly. I say, if that had been timed better. They're going to commit to this fight. They're going to commit everything to this fight, which makes sense. You need to win, and I just don't think... I honestly just don't think that... I don't think Houston were ready for this. Yeah, Houston gets caught off guard by the aggression here. And where is our slide? Yeah, it's used aggressively. Because we feel like, oh, we're good, right? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, he almost gets shot. Like, am I missing something? I feel like he almost did that shot. Oh, he just misses it. Yeah, he goes for it. He doesn't quite get it, though. Okay, so Langsa, and then because Happy doesn't have his locator, or doesn't have his shift, he's cooked. And I would go as far to say that the slide is also a little bit, not the slide, the Kiriko ult is a little bit delayed as well. I mean, this is why overcommitting ult sometimes works, because they weren't prepared for it. They weren't ready for it. So you might actually see, yeah, that they're gonna win this fight. Okay, so can they get Shu? Can they get Shu? They can. That's a nice stagger actually here. This is a really nice stagger. That's an extra 10 seconds they've gained there. Another kill. Whoa. Really nice stagger there. Oh, Fearless almost dies too. And that's going to buy them 10%. Now let's see where they draw the line. Where do they want to hold? So it looks like they're holding really aggressively. Shy gets cleared though. And this is a huge opportunity for Fearless to go. No. I imagine Fearless will probably go for Kiriko. So Shy gets caught off. Shy needed to re-enter stealth ASAP and isn't able to. So like right here, we're setting up. I don't like this from Shy because his team is setting up the fight here. He needs to be staging and getting ready to follow up. It looks like we're fighting here, right? But Shy is just going to get cleared. And then Houston's going to walk. And so what does Gushui do? Do we just let them walk? Do we slam them? What do we do? And I imagine we're probably going to see a Fearless Primal here. This probably should be a lost fight now. Yeah, that's just really poor. It's just really, really poor. I'm trying to think what I want to say here about this. Shy should have re-stealthed and played punish backline. His translocator is also way too far given the positioning of his team as well. But there's just this is just goofed up. Like, I think the mistake is more importantly that fact that we're doing anything right now while our team is AFK. So then he's out. That gives Houston a time. Remember we talked about tempo, guys, right? They're playing to the tempo of the Sombra. They go, oh, Sombra's out. They're 4v5. Let's go, guys. And they're just allowed to walk forward for free. I think, like imagine what use of Sombra would be here with EMP, right? Your Kiriko's still probably dead, but oh my days, look at this EMP, guys. Look at this, guys. Look at this with the pulse bomb. Leave is also really late as well. I don't know. Just not good. Poor team play. Really just poor team play from Spark there. Yeah, and that should be it. I would go as far as that should be it for the map, considering especially that it didn't take anything from them. And then now all Fearless has to do is chase staggers, which he does. Yeah, this is it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Let's save ourselves some time. Surely, right? Right? Excuse me? What? How? How? It's a 5v3! It's a 5v3! Two of them are in spawn! Why is Pelican on Widowmaker? Oh my gosh. What happens? I just want to analyze team play, guys. I want to analyze macro and boring crap like that. I don't want to sit here and be like, who threw? Who threw? All right, guys. Who threw? Who threw? Let's find out. What is Pelican pulsing? He goes that one. All right. Who threw? Let's find out. Let's find out. Do we go back as a unit? No, Pelican's dead. Oh man. Okay, that's one for the list. Who else is gonna throw? Who else is gonna throw? Who else? Come on, somebody else. Because that alone can't. That's not fight losing right there, right? Who else? Who else? All right. The beat. Come on, join the club. Who threw? All right, another double boot from Gushui. Gushui has been hearing me talk trash, and he's had enough of the stupid nerd talking trash. Look at this. One, swing, two. Oh! My butt cheeks have never been more clenched. That is delightful. That is really good. You know what? I'm actually, Pelican is hard trolling the lobby, but I'm just gonna go ahead and give credit where credit is due. Look at this, y'all. Look at this. Bam, bam, bam. What is that? Nice. Okay. Also, I mean, I don't know. It's not even that bad of a pick, you know? I don't know why we're dropping here. I would have just stayed top. This is trolling. This is trolling. What is going on? What is going on? What is going on, guys? What is going on? What is going on? Why is Violet in their spawn? Where is Violet? Why is Violet over here? Violet. Violet. I just swear this guy, I can't deal with this guy. And we commit our Kiriko ultimate. Ah! No. Violet? Oh, what is Pelican going for a grapple shot? No, we got slammed. Yeah, this is why I would have just preferred to play in the back. Oh my gosh. Violet is something else, man. Violet is just so good, and then he just does things that just don't make any sense at all. Like, it's not even like aggressive play. Just like, what are you doing? He's making space. There's just no way that they lose to this. Oh my gosh. They don't time that EMP perfectly, actually. That should have been a one shot. They're just a little off in timing there. Oh dear. Overwatch League. Overwatch League. Oh dear, this is okay. Surely this is it, guys, right? Surely, please. Nobody can touch. Oh, what? Fearless just goes like, wait. That's a good EMP. Tracer dies. Oh, he almost big brained it, y'all. Almost. Look at this. God, he's so close to jump. Oh no, and we almost had beat. Unlucky. Yeah, I mean, this is what happens, guys. This is what happens. When you have a massive advantage, you just get a little bit sloppy. You just get a little bit relaxed, and then the unlucky happens, and then you're caught up. Then you lose. This happened all the time in London scrims. It's not just London specifically, but just scrims. Like this happened all the time. Oh, surely we won, right? And then you just lose a little bit of focus, a little bit of attention, and then it just completely slips away. That's actually insane. I'm really irritated at Violet. I'm not gonna lie. Definitely Pelican trolled there on Tracer as well, but I don't even know, man. Fearless is playing so well. Fearless and Gushui, the couple of the ball plays there were like, oh man, they were tight. Okay, mirror match, probably because of the high ground. The Sombra is a lot less valuable when you have a high ground to play with. It gives the Sojourn an inherent power spike because you can bounce on from high ground to high ground. You have a nice little sight line here. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's see how the differences in rollout here. Both E's do absolutely jack all, so that's a plus. Fearless goes. Gushui trades. We're both trying to deny the enemy Sojourn positioning. Now, what's the difference here to me is actually the Tracer rollout. One Tracer goes to high ground and then uses this to follow up off of this. Leave, rolls out on floor, and doesn't do anything. And then and because of that high ground positioning, and because we're playing with Sojourn, look at what Happy can do. Allow me to quote the greatest. Yoinkies! Again, like what? When have we ever had a time where an entire dive composition could just migrate? You know what I'm saying? That's wild. That's great. That's awesome right there. I'm actually curious why. That being said, Monk shouldn't die. What should have happened is they should have done what we just saw there, and then we should have had taken these positions to just like probably hunt down and find the Sojourn or get a better angle. So how does Monk die? Is he caring for his Sojourn? He must be caring for his Sojourn. It's the only reason he should die. Yep. That's it. So it's a bit of a mistake. He needs to trust his Sojourn to use her cooldowns properly and then be able to peel afterwards. He just casts his corpse on the fire. But this is pretty funny. That's well played by Houston. That's good. Now, do we overextend? We just need to chill, clear, chill and clear, chill and clear, chill and clear, chill and clear. Don't get split. Nice. Now we go to point. I don't want us to greed here. I don't like this pursuit on kills that much, honestly. I think a lot, like this is silly. This is silly. Just chill. I mean, this is probably Fearless just zoning them, but we need to be really careful. Really careful about reaching, because this has cost us a lot of fights. Like this from Pelican is dumb. This is dumb. This is something that Pelican keeps doing. Why not Reaper? Probably because the map is too spread out. It's just there's just not enough angles to justify. Oh, there's too many angles. This is the Pelican mistake that we keep seeing over and over again that really needs to stop. This happened even on King's Row as well, where we overextend for backline in a situation where we're clearly moving back, and Pelican is not playing around his team's positioning a lot. So, I mean, we're on point. We're not diving into their spawn. Fearless is here because he's just zoning them, but he can easily get out. He's not going to get punished. Tracer, however, could go in here, get recall forced, and now if that Tracer is not dead, the Tracer will pursue Pelican and kill Pelican. In fact, there's actually a chance that Pelican could even get chased down. I want to highlight that as being a mistake that goes unpunished, but 30, 25, 40% of the time, somewhere around there, that will get punished and be the reason why they lost. I mean, it's why they lost the last round. Remember? And so they literally lost the last round with that exact same mistake of just, oh, I'm good, I'm egoing, but the gain is just so little, right? Exactly. You just go so far when your team is so far back. Oh, wait, does Fearless actually get punished for the same thing? I didn't think Fearless would get punished for this. Oh, man. So he's reaching. Yes. Because I'm like, Fearless is just zoning backline, just kind of covering his team's back door, and then he's just going to get out, right? How did he not get out? Well, Klong! No way, man! This is an Overwatch League scrim! Oh my gosh. I don't know, mate. I don't know. This is just agony. Now, all Spark have to do is patiently walk forward, take space, pressure point. We force the recall on Pelican. Now is the safe time to pressure point. Violet is something else, y'all. I am. What is he doing? He's shooting Monkey Bubble. He's not even going for a boop. He's shooting Monkey Bubble. Like, this is where if Violet is here, you probably want to be playing around your Kiriko or Tracer. Win this Tracer duel, right? Help your Tracer win the Tracer duel. And then let them pressure point and then touch it like the last possible second, or peel off your Sojourn. Like, there's no reason to panic here. Like, Fearless will be back here soon, and if you win the Tracer duel, that actually might mean that Leaf has to back up, and then what that means, okay, let's look at this from a map control perspective, okay? Let me actually draw this up, okay? Because I actually think this is a really cool teaching moment, all right? Here, okay, so Violet's here. Let's say Violet was a good Lucio, okay? I'm kind of being a little bit insulting here, but just bear with me. Violet is here. Violet helps his Tracer win the 2v1, and because Spark has to worry about putting somebody on point, this means that either this is even or you have a slight advantage. Probably means Leave doesn't get a lot of help. So we win this 2v1. Well, what does that mean? Does Leave die? Probably not. However, it means that Leave is not able to stage onto our Kiriko, and Leave actually has to go back to here, okay? So Leave gives up this angle, and what this means now is that if I'm Kiriko Sojourn, I can very comfortably put pressure on point, shoot point, whatever, without worrying about getting pincered from behind. In addition to that, I can now send Pelican with Pulse Bomb on his own angle. Let's actually get a different color here. I can send Pelican with Pulse Bomb to continue to rotate, and now we actually have an angle, a lane, if you will, where Pelican can actually access the enemy team's backline. Sojourn, Kiriko, Lucio, whatever, for a Pulse Bomb. Whereas if Pelican doesn't get help here, Pelican might be forced to, this is just a mad. Pelican might be forced to back off, whatever, I'm just gonna leave it. Pelican might be forced to back off, which now means Leave is in a position to go for backline, but also Pelican is not in a position to get Pulse Bomb, because how is he gonna get a Pulse Bomb from here? Is he gonna blink right to the middle of the map? No, he doesn't have the lane open to him. Violet goes for pressure here, but the highest return on investment for Violet, if he wants to Reddit Lucio, is to Reddit Lucio on the enemy Tracer on the angle, because this part of the map matters right now, not this part. We're not equipped to deal with this part right now. Our Winston's in spawn. So instead, hold the lane, hold the angle, because they're gonna have to touch point. So it's technically a 4v4 here. Win this 4v4, and then even if they cap point, you're in a perfect position to dive point, because what you've done is, if we were to draw what areas of the map you can control, you could go like here. You could control this much map in a losing fight. This isn't working. But you guys get the idea. All right? This isn't unreadable. You guys are just dense. Come on, you gotta get my level. You gotta bear with me. All right? Okay, would it help if I did this? Here, enemy. No. Here, enemy. Enemy here with 5. We have 4. One enemy, go over here, point. So now 4-4. So now if we want to go for enemy on the back, if Lucio help here, we win and enemy die. If Lucio go play over here, we don't do anything. Right? Okay. Yeah, this is just dumb. This is just really dumb. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, it just doesn't. It's not what Lucio is like. If we're going for like a backline dive, maybe he could like disengage, prevent the Sojourn from sliding up. But it just doesn't make any sense. And then now we have 5 people here, but no, wait, Violet's in spawn. It's just you could simultaneously play to control space and not feed at the same time, because this Tracer duel is a really safe play, and you could bait them into reaching. But now it's Violet. I don't know. I just don't understand, guys. And now this is just really an unwinnable fight. So I'm getting a little bit of stalling out, but it's just not. It's tragic. I got that reference, King Arthur. Oh no, guys, I beg. No. Again, reaching, right? We just think that we can hold a little bit of space, and then we get punished for it. Oh my gosh, this is just a disaster. All right, now we're walking. Please clear the Tracer. Please. Yes. Do you see? Okay, never mind. I was gonna make a great coaching point, but now my entire house of cards has fallen flopped around me. My point was gonna be here. Because we've been able to clear Tracer, we're in a better position to survive this dive, because you notice that the Tracer is recalling and not diving my backline, but I failed to account for Shu just not pressing the cooldown. So, my bad, guys. But you guys get what I'm saying. Why is Fearless Primaling? This is a fair primal. Yeah, I think the opportunity was there, and we could get it. Even a trade here would be real. Wow. Whoa, wow. Whoa, we get the... Oh, Pelican. This is smart. This is really smart. This is really smart. Great play by Pelican. Love it. Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. Live. Run. You were in so much danger. Right? Just be careful. My man is back halving, yeah. This is smart. Commit a lot of ultimates, guaranteed loss fight, either back half or reset. Okay. All right, let's have a talk. You have a Kiriko advantage. They have beat for beat. They have a primal. Okay, whatever. So I know what the plan is here. I know it. I know what they're gonna do. They're gonna go to point. I hope I'm right. I might be totally wrong and be like an idiot. Hey, Adi. They're gonna place Kiriko on the point and probably brawl around point. My concern here is that during the rush to rotate to point, they might mess up. Now they're doing this really fast. It actually looks like Gushui and Leave aren't even aware they're there. So remember when we talked about like Lucio being able to cheat, right? Because if you can just rotate, you can ignore map control super fast. This is it, case in point. Because do you notice how they're letting Gushui take the angle? They're letting Leave take the angle in the flank, but it doesn't matter because they're just taking the fight completely away from them. So this might actually work. We'll see. There it is. Oh no, Pelican. Oh no, Pelican. And there it is. There's the flip. So they're going to try and force an engage. They give up cap. Spark does anyway, because they missed the rotation. Ooh. Oh, whoa. Winston dives in. Tracer Pincer. We're W King, we're W King, we're W King. What does Lynx see here?
Oh, let's break it.
Oh, he gets Suzu'd. I think he calls for Suzu. Yeah, he gets Suzu. Okay. Now, there's a beat for beat. Gushui has primal. Gushui is just back capping right back. There's the match. Shy dies. Why does Shy die? Does he not get beat? Because they had the secondary beat. Oh no, they didn't. Oh, I'm totally confused, guys. I'm totally confused. So the beat for beat, but he uses shift. This guy doesn't use shift. They isolate, they kill. And then while, and I think the other thing worth noting as well is while Gushui is playing for point, Fearless is engaged. So this is a 5v3 right now. Now it's a 4v4, but they've already had the advantage from having their Winston involved. So either Spark needed to just play hard safe, hard deal with point, or they needed to actually take the fight and ignore point. They kind of did a little bit of both. They couldn't decide, and so now, even if they win this fight, it's going to cost them everything. Huge kill from Fearless. Yeah, that's Monk. Yeah, that's a really, really big fight win from Houston. They did a great job there. Great job. Great job. And I think Spark is just a little bit indecisive about how they wanted to take that fight, whether they wanted to play for point and kite or actually just take the fight right toe to toe. I mean, here's the thing, guys. Violet Lucio is good. Violet Lucio is good, but he's trolling the scrim. He's trolling the scrim. Violet Lucio is good, but he's trolling the scrim. Those two things can be like we're talking about like limit testing. Maybe, sure. I don't know. It's funny because it's Violet, but Violet also went to grand finals last season. So, you know. Like, I think Violet is definitely a feeder, but Violet is also a clutcher at the same time. So, you know, it is what it is. How did Fearless get Lingsa? Do you want to guess? Cracked. I mean, it wasn't that crazy. He just jumped on him. They better bring back Al Replay Viewer this season. Yeah, it's honestly one of the biggest disasters of last season that it was only available for like the staff, and it's actually kind of ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't understand fully why. I'm gonna assume the best and assume that it wasn't something just through gross incompetence, or but it's very confusing to me because it was available for everybody else. I don't know why. I don't know why. Okay, so they're just gonna set tempo here. They have a setup. They have a nice Winston jump. They're just gonna shift in and go. I'm interested to see who they would go for first. I'm guessing it might be the enemy Sojourn. Yeah, enemy Sojourn because she has the ultimate. You could even see Violet on the target because if they kill Sojourn, that's the only ult that they have. And she's also got the least reliable defensive cooldown out of the entire cast in this game. You know, Kiriko's just gonna TP away, so yeah. A little bit of a reach though. No. They get away with it. What happens to Gushui here? So Gushui bubbles a little early. I think that's the issue there. And he ends up having to chase outside of his bubble. So you see here, he's gonna drop bubble here because he's already. Why is Gushui already low actually? It's a nice job by Pelican, actually. This HP matters, y'all. This HP matters a lot. That's almost 200 armor gone. He bubbles early and then pursues outside of bubble. Meanwhile, Fearless's bubble is planted smack dab in the middle of the fight, and you could tell which bubble is better because which bubble was broken, right? That's the key thing there. So huge play from Pelican there for the early pressure. A little bit unfortunate from Gushui. Nice shot though. And Outlaws are still in, so this is still winnable. Let's see. How does the Shy die here? Oop, just gets railed. Probably could have seen it. Where was the Suzu here? I'm curious. I think that Suzu was too soon. So you have to be very quick with it, but I'm curious who the Suzu was even intended for. Oh, it didn't even hit. It didn't even hit. You know, it's actually funny, guys, is the Suzu didn't even hit. Which, ironically, is what gets shot. Oh, no, Shy gets healed back up. Yeah, the Suzu whiffs. That's a little bit unfortunate. And then who else dies here? Is it Fearless? Yeah, Fearless gets pulsed and shot down before he builds Primal. Leave is 1 HP. And survives. Still, very reasonable retake opportunity. They're going to use the ultimate. Ooh, we're fighting for this. All right, chat. How much you guys want to bet that Violet beats? Oh, he doesn't even get a chance to beat. Shoot. Whew. Jeez, man, these guys are just insane. Really, 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 really nice. Very, very, very winnable. We're gonna go Echo for the retake. Echo's pretty decent. And she's a faster rollout than any of the other DPS to get back to spawn. So, you know, interesting. Probably just see a Primal on point. Probably prioritize either Lingsa or Sojourn. He's looking around for targets to Primal. See, he's looking, there is the Sojourn, so he finds the Sojourn. A little bit unfortunate that we used both Beat and Primal, but it probably doesn't matter considering it's last fight. Just would have been a little bit better to min-max to prevent this from being clutched. We need to get one more kill here. We need to get one more kill. We really need to get one more kill. Yeah, so when you blow 1, 2, 3 ults and you only have 1 kill to show for it, that might be a little bit problematic. Does Bubble block Suzu? Yes. So this is a little bit problematic. I want to see what prompted this beat.
Thanks for all the content, Smile.
Hey, thanks for the bits, mate. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I mean, I enjoy it. So the beat is reasonable. It just doesn't seem like anybody really needed it. So I think I would have preferred... I think the beat was probably okay. I don't know about the Primal, so we end up greeting this. And then also, it gets really messy. Because now we're just blowing an ultimate. And now we have 3 active ultimates and 1 kill to show for it. And now the Echo is getting a little bit hairy because we didn't immediately win the fight, and so now we're probably picking not... I don't know if Echo's good or bad, but it wasn't our first choice on rollout, so I imagine it's probably not as good as Sojourn, and for Happy, it's probably definitely not as good. What kills Monk here? He just kind of greeds, to be honest with you guys. Nice right click from Fearless again, though. Should be okay, though. It still was a 5v4. I honestly don't even know anymore, guys. Like, every single time I think the fight is just won, it's just not. So, I'm not even sure now. Leva's gonna fight 4v1, I just knew it. Violet's gonna blink off the map, or blink off the map, you know, jump off the map, you know. Okay, interesting. So, really clean first fight from Houston. Little bit of a goof up from Spark after that. A lot of ultimates used. They did not deal with juggling point. The big ult fight was really what cost them, though, where a lot of ults were traded. They lost point. They tried to back cap and match ult for ult and somehow messed up. Didn't do either of them both. And again, that kind of comes down to the team play. And then obviously also committing Kirikou ult when you probably had already won the fight before last is what cost us. Okay. Last round.
Ready.
Was Fearless on Shanghai on last season of Overwatch 1? No, I think it was just Dallas, I think, right? Past season, he was obviously Dallas, but the season before? Season 3, I guess, or 4? Season 4? Yeah, I think he was Dallas, yeah. Okay, let's check this out. Yeah, just Dallas, okay. Okay, Echo time. So, why are they playing Echo, chat? Why are they playing Echo? Besides the fact that it's Leave on Echo, and Leave is probably a great Echo. 2020 was in Shanghai. Okay. It's well. High ground, display run. Cover by Windmill. Yeah. It's just good high grounds, and it's not great sightlines for hit scan. Like, it's okay for Sojourn because there is a little bit of sightlines and there are some high grounds. But it's just there's all the good positions involve high ground and cover in some way, shape, or form. So like, yeah, there's just so much. You can play Echo here, you could play Echo here, you could do all sorts of things with Echo here. So I agree. I think if Echo ever was to be good on a point, it would be this one. Yeah, Brig with Echo. I mean, Brig with Echo is just to enable the offing. Like, you're going to have... So here's the thing. All right, if you guys have ever heard me talk about, like, fast versus slow, it's one of the most misused terms in Overwatch ever. Which composition is playing slow versus fast? It doesn't matter. Both teams can play slow. What matters is the range. For example, this composition, I don't know if you guys can see my mouse, you probably can't. Lucio versus Brig. Lucio does better in close range. He gets more value in close range sightline. Brig gets better in long range. And you're like, wait, doesn't Brig have a flail? Yes, but Brig has range packs that Lucio doesn't have. So Brig can enable people to poke much better than Lucio can. In addition, you have the situation where you have an Ana on high ground, where if Ana is able to set her feet, she's going to outvalue a Kiriko as long as she's able to keep range. So for me, I imagine we're probably going to see Ana Brig on high ground, probably Echo controlling some sort of an off angle and trying to keep early and often pressure on the enemy backline. Now, the only exception to that rule is if this guy's got rail. Then all of a sudden, we got to be really careful about peeking. Right, so you can see the mouse? Brilliant. All right, so let's check this out. Will the Lucio composition be able to LOS the Echo Ana and find a way either to pressure point to force them to get close and then burn them, or find a way to rotate and set up a dive on them? Because remember, they can get onto high ground. If my Winston jumps here, my Lucio can wall ride, my Sojourn can slide, and my Kiriko can TP. Huge. So is this Echo comp, are we going to be able to get early and often pressure? Let's find out. Echo swings wide this way. There's a lot of aggression. We force the Sojourn out. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a big nade, huge nade. Now remember, guys, we didn't talk. Remember we said like, oh, fast versus slow. It doesn't really matter. If your Echo has a good angle and your Brig Ana have a good angle, you can play fast if you want. It doesn't matter. You could play fast with snipers versus dive, as long as you play in your sniper sidelines, right? It doesn't matter. So here, Lynx is actually pressing W. Big nade. Leave is a little isolated though. Leave should probably die for this. Yeah, so leave overextends just a wee little bit. I would have preferred a little bit more patience. Yeah, he gets caught. He shifts away from his support LOS. So what Leave needed to do is probably shift back up towards here. He lost LOS of Lynxa. The chain was broken, and it means that he's going to get isolated and picked off. I'm actually curious, what would I have liked to have seen from Lynxa here? I think the Brig is a really interesting pick here. So he tries the shortcut, he misses cover, and he misses the whip shot, which means that instead of him being able to actually walk forward here, which we would have liked him to be able to do, he actually has to disengage. It's a pretty big mistake. And that's going to kill him. Or kill Leave, rather. That, along with also, you know, Leave just makes a mistake. Now, Lingsa needs to get out. How did Monk misses the sleep dart? This is actually unreal. This new Brig pack is unreal. Okay, what happens here? So Fearless doesn't even have bubble. I don't think. So he just misses sleep dart. He rushes sleep dart, even though... When did Fearless have bubble? Maybe Fearless did have bubble. No, he didn't. This insta-pack is insanity. Like, that is insane. That is insane right there. That is actually insane. That being said, our Ana's MIA. We're already up a DPS. Yeah. Hard to lose that one. And now we're going to be able to choke out the Ana Brig and prevent them from taking the positions. I'm actually curious to see if they swap off of... They probably won't, but I'll be curious to see how they retake this. So they roll out top, big surprise, right? Better sightlane, better safety. What I'd probably like to see from Leave is rotate towards here, shoot here. And remember we talked about how like Houston are going to win is like being able to close the distance on these guys without taking a lot of damage. If you're able to put Leave on this angle here and shoot with pocket, there's nothing the enemy Sojourn can do about it. There's actually nothing they can do about it. He could just take this position and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot, get packs back, shoot, and Fearless is going to have to disengage. So they lost track of Pelican, though. That's a big deal. But then Pelican's out. I'm curious to see why Leave is rotating this way. Leave should actually just straight up die. Oh, maybe he doesn't. What does Leave see? I don't understand what Leave is doing. He's staging for an aggressive dive in backline, I guess, with Gushui. Probably with Nano. But I think they needed to be a little bit more patient about it first. And I would prefer to stage... I don't know. This is crazy. Again, Rig Pax comes in clutch though. Easy peel. And Gushui does have staging on the backline with Shy. So maybe this works. There's the Nano Echo we were waiting for. I feel like he could just die here. There's the Nano. Yeah, I just feel like maybe a little bit rushed. Just a little bit rushed. Okay, so then they're going to trade. They're going to jump in backline. They slide their Sojourn in. She gets top. Big nade from Monk here. Yeah. Bam. Just honor rolls him. Remember we talked about reaching, chat? I think this is another example of that. I really do. So they're gonna go in hard. Their timing is all off though. Why is Violet not involved in this? What happens here? Man, that's rough. I don't know what Violet's doing over here. Violet needs to be peeling off this monkey jump, but he runs at the monkey and the monkey just jumps right over him. Violet's having a tough scrim. Because the problem here is you need to deny this Winston damage on your Sojourn. Bam. You see that? Almost dies. Alright? That should... 100 and whatever of that damage should never have happened, which is would have kept him up. And in addition to that, we miss our amp by pursuing the dive that we missed. You see this? We have to amp, and our amp... we almost died in the Nano Echo first off. But their amp ends up not getting any value because we were late to the fight. And then we're not even here for the follow-up boop on the Winston afterwards either. I'm actually curious to see if Suzu is forced as a result from this as well. Yep, Suzu is forced as a result from that as well. Whereas we should have been able to TP in very safely here at full HP. Suzu would run over this on and win the fight. So this was a really, really, really big mistake from Violet here. He needs to be able to peel off that Winston dive, or at least be able to join his team on the dive. And he misses both windows. Big mistake. I was wondering why that felt so bad, and I got the answer here. So probably what will happen is we've got a fight with Rally, which is honestly one of the best support ults in the game, especially in a dive mirror. It's generally very, very hard to kind of out muscle Rally. So what we might see here is we'll probably see maybe a Kirikou ult on point with their Sojourn, try and farm up her rail. We could see them try to brawl with Kirikou, but I think without a Primal Rage and with the enemy team having Rally, I don't know if this is going to work so well. I'm curious to see how they take this fight. So they are going to try and brawl with Kirikou. What we'll probably see is Langsa will immediately match with Rally, and Shai is going to look for a pulse. I don't think, unless they're able to survive until Violet gets beat, I don't think they're going to win this fight. I would be surprised. So it's going to depend entirely on mechanics. Is somebody going to hit a mechanical shot? The other problem here, as you guys can see, is that they're not able to like clear an angle or take space. In fact, Pelican, before the fight even starts, is trying to clear space, but he goes in too early. And he gets his head blown off. So he's actually recalled out while we're Kirikou ulting in, which is, again, a problem. We've seen this with Pelican, right? He overextends. His timing is not very good with the rest of the team. And so I don't think that this should be very difficult for them to win. Right. There's the overextension. There's the reach. This should be a fight win for Spark. Somebody should die in the next 2 seconds. All of them should die in the next 2 seconds. I'm actually surprised we even needed to use Primal. Let's find out. Why did we use Primal here? We're already pretty low. Hey, that's fine. Tracer within the... Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is not a very intelligent engage, I think, from Houston. I think what you need to do is you need to make sure that you have your beat farmed up. And if you're going to go for the play that you just did right here, you might even roll out top and then have Pelican set up from here. and then maybe blink from behind here and try and pincer from here and really get on top of that brig while she's rallying. I think if you're able to set up from high ground, you would have Fearless, Pelican at higher resource, and you have a quicker path to get onto the backline, because if that brig doesn't die really fast, you're just not going to get a kill. You're just not going to get a kill. You need to close the distance quickly on that brig and rally, otherwise they just survive the first couple of seconds, and you have no angles, you have no map control, you have nothing. You're just running it down. Yeah, and you can see they're just reaching and reaching and reaching and reaching, and they're just kiting and kiting and kiting and kiting, and meanwhile, all along the way, Shy, Leave, all of them are just pumping damage into them. It's a 2-for-1 ult trade, but it's a 2-for-1 ult trade and a lost fight. Oh, wow. This is crazy. This is crazy. It's still winnable, guys. It's technically still winnable. They were not able to get more kills with the Primal Rage. Do we see some cooldowns here? Do we have packs? We have Sleep and Nade. That's good. We get split, though. That's really, really rough. You They peel it off. I actually don't hate that beat. They just needed to be, I mean, because you actually had some, because that's the funny thing is, like, was this beat bad? Probably, but at least you have some map control now. Now at least you have, like, you at least have the proximity that you needed to get on top of the brig, right? The problem here is just that I think they just didn't quite get it, right? They just didn't quite get it. They didn't quite get the stick that they wanted, right? Brig pack is just a little too good, right? Yeah. That was that was probably the best stupid Violet ult we've seen. Also DPS timing there. Yeah, let's actually look. Well, it's hard because the window for that 4v5 is really tight. You can't really wait for everybody to be staged because you're down a person. So you got to go now. You got to go now. You got to go now. I don't think even Monk plays this that well. Let's find out, because the backline gets split, so that's a big one. Yeah, so we goofed it up. This is a classic Christopher-ism, lose cons, right? You're up one, but they have beat, so let's not get too greedy here. And I think, like, the backline almost choked that one because of that. I'm saying you shouldn't have used beat. I think the beat was a 50-50. Or even a 40-60. No, I don't think he should have used beat. No, probably not. But it was an understandable gamble. It was an understandable gamble. They just needed to be on the same target. Because I think the fact that Spark peeled that as poorly as they did and still survived is kind of a red flag. Haha, Pelican. Oh! Okay. Feast or famine beat, exactly. Exactly. Like I said, I think Spark really did not play that one very well in terms of peeling it off. We didn't get a lot of value out of either of our cooldowns, and we split in different directions, and it still worked. Okay, there's the reach.
This end wins now.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to look at this. I feel like we're trying to play more aggressively here with our backline here. But it's a shame that Leave gets his shift forced just by a jump, right? Even if, here's the thing, is like, even if you have your ultimate here, I don't know. You don't want to use your ultimate as a get out of jail free card because you made a positional mistake. You want to use it as a get out of jail free card because you went super aggressive and you had your ultimate. You're not really in a good position to get value out of your Winston ult here. And I would, because you can see it, right? Like this ult's just completely wasted. Whereas if we could have disengaged here, we could have then gone 3-2-1 shift up and then look for a copy in Kiriko or a copy in Winston from here, where we could have actually closed the distance here. Yeah, this is unfortunate. Like this, because it's an ult for an ult, but the Sojourn ult, we're playing in open space right now, so the Sojourn ult's just going to be better. We're not even able to build our Primal Rage. They do get the nano. Huge. Big nano. Big nano. What's the status of cooldowns right now? Fine. They kite that nano really well. Shy is okay. I think we're positioned all right for it. Ooh. What happens here? Oh man, again we get split, y'all. We keep getting split. And I think now it's going to be both supports dying. Or at least that support died. By the way, that's the other thing with the Echo. You can't land on a bad spot because you don't really have an escape cooldown. It's a lot like Sojourn. When you shift up in the sky and then you just land right where you landed, you're a free dive target. So I think this is a mistake from Leave. What I would have liked to see from Leave is when we call Nano Monkey, Nano Monkey, Nano Monkey, go in. We finish here. I mean, honestly, it's tough because we dive, but we don't get the kill. So I actually think we maybe should have landed with our monkey and kept shooting from here. I think disengaging here is just like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's also a weakness of the Echo. This is what I'm more concerned about, though. That we have Lengsa and Monk splitting again. It shouldn't have happened. Because if Lengsa is with Monk here, this fight is actually very winnable. Or at least you force a Primal Rage out as well. Yeah. Okay. Probably going to see them roll out top, play really slow for rally, wait for Primal and rally, play nice and slow. This really could go either way. This really could go either way. I think the favor is on Houston here because of the double supportal that's coming up here, but it really could go either way. Nope, no pulse. I will say this about Pelican. Yeah, that's just really unfortunate. That's just really unfortunate. He just goes in a little early, and he goes on, like, honestly, he doesn't even go, like, great job by Lee, by the way, scouting this. But he goes for, he doesn't quite get the stick, and now he might die here. Oh. Pelican is a lot like Violet with these high risk, high reward extensions ahead of his team. Pulse is one of those things that if you see an opportunity, you should just go for it. But you have to understand the downside of like what it means going for it. And he's got to be screaming for help right now. Help, carry me. That's it. That's the fight, y'all. That's the fight. I don't even think he stuck the shield. That should be the fight. Because we're going to be able to peel off Fearless. That's a stick landed, and that's fight, you know? Force point. And that's it. And they don't even get the support ults. Actually, you know what? I've learned my lesson. I'm not going to assume. Rally. There it is. Kiriko gets smoked. She don't want the smoke. Leave keeps getting caught isolated, mate. Like, again, this is the weakness of the Echo, is you cannot get caught isolated. You're just too easy of a kill. Leave's Echo has been a complete non-factor this entire game. There's the beat. Focus Sojourn, focus Sojourn, focus Sojourn, focus Sojourn. She used her shift. She messes up her shift. Happy ends up in the same spot and dies. So, main takeaways for me, nicely done, is definitely some team cohesion issues, right? On both sides. Overextension, reaching, not clearing space, not rotating together, splitting off in different directions. A couple of individual observations. Pelican is too greedy with his timing and doesn't really play around his team very well. And I think the same to an extent goes for Violet as well. Fearless is playing really well, I think, for the most part. I don't have anything negative or positive to say about Happy. It seemed fine. I think both flex supports look a little bit rusty with how they're playing just a little bit, especially on the Ana. Violet's Kiriko looked insane. Lengsa looked a little bit shaky, especially with synergy with backline. A lot of questionable plays in both Lucio and Brig. Some questionable backline positioning. I wasn't loving the support play today, I think. But yeah. Do you guys have any questions? We talked about a lot today, like, and I mean a lot. So much to consider. And remember that the big takeaway with team play and individual play is that nothing is set in stone. Nothing. This is early in the season, early in scrims. Everybody makes really stupid mistakes under the heat of pressure, and a lot of these mistakes are going to be cleaned up over the course of the fight. Gouche ball looked good. Yeah, Gouche ball definitely had some pop-off moments. In the dive versus Brig on it, or Brigs in comps, should you dive the Brig in most scenarios? It depends. If you can cut off her bash route with a bubble, then yes. If you can't, no. Because she has greater mobility with bash, but if you can bubble off her bash, she will bash into the shield, I'm pretty certain. So she won't be able to get away. On the 50-50 beat, could Houston have won the fight if they'd focused the same support? Yes, because Spark messed up their peel badly. They missed the sleep dart, and their support split again. So yes, they could have won the fight off of that. That's a fight-losing mistake, though. It's like one of those 50-50 plays where if you make it, you probably win the round. If you don't, you probably lose the round. And it just didn't quite work out. And that's where we, again, blame team play. Like, you guys would be surprised at how even the best Overwatch League players, a lot of fights are just decided by common goofy errors that you probably have playing quick play with your friends in gold. Not being on the same page, mishearing, not focusing the same targets. They're not necessarily the most important factors, but they do frequently cost fights. Is the Shy Leave duo underwhelming you compared to the expectations? I think it's impossible to really say. I mean, Leave didn't look particularly like he was clutching off a lot of fights in Echo, but you really can't make reads off of really a handful of maps. I think both DPS played reasonably well. There wasn't anything overwhelmingly negative or positive. It's too early to say. You really can't make a read from 2 scrim codes, especially. Yeah. I mean, this is just fun analysis. I'm using this less about making reads about how good teams are going to be and more about just fun analysis about how compositions could be played. Like, this is more educational, not commentatable. I could not tell you Houston could win the Overwatch League this season. Linksa could be the Owl MVP. Violet could be the less Lucio in the league. They're good players, but we also just don't know. Like, you literally cannot make reads. You guys could have watched London scrims last season about this time, and you would have probably assumed that we would have finished like second to last. That's just how it happens. It's a long season. Players are trying things. Players are trying different compositions. Players are rusty. They're not on the same page. A lot of what looks like feeding from Pelican might just be a lack of communication from Fearless or vice versa. You just can't make reads. So this is more about learning how we want these compositions to be played and getting a read on some of the mechanics of some of the players. Like Fearless looks great. Fearless is obviously very comfortable on Monkey, more so than like drawing these big, overwhelming, like, I'm not building power rankings off of scrims, especially this early in the season, y'all. What do you think about that Somber pick? I think it definitely struggled a ton on Ilios Ruins because they really muffed up first fight. But like, that's another example where we can't draw like really overwhelming conclusions from one pick because they messed up the first fight. They won first fight off of the Somber pick. That Mega allowed the ball to play as aggressively as she did, which should have won them the fight, but he just messed up, right? And the Somber also looked pretty decent on King's Row as well. Thanks for the Mambo streams. From how Peli is playing, it looks like he legitimately has no idea when his team disengages. Yeah, that's where it's like, is it because Pelican is stupid? Probably not, no. It just means that there's just a little bit of a communicational gap that needs to be closed with more practice with the team. That's the thing, guys. It's like we don't know exactly what the solution is, so we can't guess. Do you think Houston needs another tank? Yeah, maybe. What you're saying is I'm as good as an Owl player? 100%, 100%. Yeah, I guess the main takeaway is from this, guys, is that if nothing else, from an Owl coach, ex-Owl coach, you know, you just don't know. We don't, like, even things like, oh, I think the Somber pick is terrible. Well, maybe for the map, but we can't judge the results of one round and say that a pick is terrible. Like, I think this is something that, respectfully, a lot of, I won't name any names, but a lot of other Owl commentators and Owl podcasts and Owl things do, is where, like, something doesn't look good immediately, so therefore it's trash. We just don't know. We need to be a little bit more patient before making harsh things. And the reason why I think a lot of people do that is because it's fun. It's what we as human beings tend to do, and it makes for good content. But I'm not really here to make good content by doing that, so I'm going to give you not the safe, nice thing. It's not about me being nice. I just know my limitations of what I know from the amount of scrims that I've played, so I can't tell you if the Sama pick is good or not. I can't tell you if Shy is a good DPS player or not. I don't know. I haven't watched enough. So I'm going to admit my limitations, and I wish more people would do that. I wish more people would do that. Violet. We just have to be careful. The tricky part is that you're not going to get a lot of views if you're spitting some hot takes. So I hope that if nothing else, that like we got you guys enjoyed the analysis aspect, because I'm not fixing to drop power rankings off of this, like I said.